In the field, we've got veteran Corey Bowen, Michael Zaboro and Thomas Burke. Running the boundary this afternoon, Scott Hargraves and Matthew Zacher. And down in the goal faces, it's Matthew Wilson and Stephen Pornovic will be waving the Coloco flags this afternoon. We're not far away from this contest getting underway. Phil Aspinall and Doug Oakley, your commentary team this afternoon on the SANFL stream for Digital Pass and SANFL Radio. We hope you're going to enjoy this afternoon's coverage.
It's a crucial game for both teams. West Adelaide, of course, winless so far. It seems so long ago that they won the premiership, and it was only, well, it was less than 2 years ago, as we know.
Yep.
But West Adelaide would be so keen to have its first victory of the year. But Glenelg, on the other hand, will be desperate to have a win to keep that place in the top 5. So I just think we're going to be in for a terrific game. The crowd has built up. One thing about Glenelg, even when they haven't been going real well, their crowds generally come out. And there's quite a reasonable crowd down below us, Phil, down near the club rooms, where of course they open up the club rooms. You can go in there and have a drink, have a meal even, and then just come out and watch the game. It's a lovely setup down here, and isn't the ground looking superb? I think ever since we started playing some first-class cricket here,
correct,
it's just lifted the playing surface. And gee, it'd be nice to play down here. I reckon you and I could almost get a kick.
Absolutely. I think if I won the toss, Doug, I'd be batting on a day like today. But we're here for SANFL Maccas League action. The umpire's not too far away from getting our game underway. And your first caller in this afternoon's proceedings will be Doug Oakley.
Big Daniel Webb there for West Adelaide. Warwick McGinty for Glenelg. Umpire puts the ball down. There's a little bit of a push and shove. It's McGinty who gets the tap out. I wouldn't call it terribly effective, though. The ball is on the ground. No one going too far all that fast. McGinty got a hand pass away. Out there to Malira. Or was it Barry? It might have been Barry. It was. And we find now the ball down towards the half-forward line, but cut off here. West Adelaide with a mark. The player going back is Kerr. I think he's the only player on the ground who's played over 200 SANFL Macca League games.
It was great. Sorry, Doug. It was great courage from Daniel Kerr to stand in the hole. Josh Scott made the contest, but well done by Kerr.
That characterises his game. Oh, there's a terrific leap there from Middleton. Almost got the mark. Couldn't quite control it. The ball is coming down towards the half-forward line here now for West Adelaide. Little hand pass there. It was a little bit on the loose side. And another loose hand pass there. Agnew in there against Middleton. That'll be a good clash. Agnew, we were talking off air before we came on air, Phil, about Agnew. And I think if you picked a state team at the moment, incidentally, Victoria playing Western Australia today.
Yep.
If you picked a state team, though, you'd be talking seriously about Brad Agnew.
Yeah, one of the most underrated defenders in the Maccas League this season. Probably leading Glenelg's best and fairest as we're back at the action. Don Barry squeezes out a handball, but intercepted by Josh Schiller of West Adelaide. Could have been taken high, but nothing doing, said the umpire. So it's centre half forward facing the primary school end, the end to which the Bloods are kicking. We'll have a resumption of play. McGinty first hands on the footy on this occasion. Christian Howard takes possession. He's wrapped up immediately by the second gamer in Josh Stevens. Josh Stevens, his father Gary, is the police commissioner. So
some people even call him Grant.
That indeed. Thank you. I got my notes wrong. Thank you, Doug, as we're back at the action. Half forward.
I think more call him Sir.
Sir Grant.
Yeah.
Darcy Fogarty wrapped up in a tackle, going nowhere. So another ball up. Bit of scrappiness off the footy. Logan Hill and Matthew Snook having a bit to say to each other. So umpire Burke gets the footy, throws it aloft. Webb with the hit out over the top, looking for the aforementioned Hill. The jam kick inside 50. Bounce really didn't favour the players of West Adelaide, taken by the skipper in Bradley. The handball over the top, intercepted partially by Batley. Coming through was the Bloods player rather from West Adelaide in Turner. He couldn't quite get a hand on the footy. The ball's on the outer side now. The Tigers have some momentum, and it's with Terry Malira.
Terry Malira goes down towards half forward. Oh, terrific pack mark. Was that Big McBean or was it Scott?
It was Seller.
It was Seller. So there's the pass, and this time it's Scott who's taken the mark 50 metres out from goal. Winner of the best and fairest down at Glenelg last year. What a player he's been since coming across. He was I think he won the goal kicking in the under-18 comp in Victoria, the TAC competition, and has been a terrific player. I wonder whether he's still got an AFL career ahead of him.
I think so.
And he comes now. He's mobile, he's tallish, he's a lovely kick of the footy. Look at this one, kicking into a breeze. That's why it didn't get the distance that time. It held up just that little bit. It was quite noticeable. The ball is on the ground. Some pretty strong tackling in there. No one going too far very quickly. The umpire comes in and says, it's mine.
Yeah, really noticeable that the ball did hold up in that breeze, Doug. So Josh Scott, who can normally carry 50 metres with the kick, didn't make it 40.
There's the ball up to get play underway. Once again, it's very, very close to the Glenelg goals. Here's a chance now for the Bays. A hand pass almost came out there to Malera, but it was all wrapped up, and the umpire says it's going to be mine.
So the ball to be thrown up in a dangerous area for the West Adelaide defence. Up goes Webb. The ball spills in the Ian Malera direction, taken in a tackle by Schmidt, trying to burst his way through. Looked to be Green. On hands and knees, getting a handball out there was Schmidt, but it's only as far as Fogarty. Kicks towards goal. The whistle has blown. It's going to be a high tackle coming back to the Blood skipper. I reckon Fogarty's kick missed to the left, so the score won't count. It's going to be a free kick to West Adelaide, 25 out from defensive goal.
If you were the coach of Glenelg, would you be tagging Chris Schmidt?
Yeah, I would think so, because his class is so important through the midfield. He uses the ball so well, so any extra pressure you can put on him to perhaps limit his ability would be helpful. But in the meantime, Schmidt's going to go to that outer side half-back flank. It's a long kick with the breeze. Middleton at the back takes the mark over the top of Agnew. So just backward of centre wing here at Gliderroll Stadium at Glenelg, round 7 Macca's League. Pass now off to Batley, the former Eagle. Hands over the top now to Filkey. He'll run and kick inside 50. It's a well-weighted kick looking there for Bates. The ball needs to bounce. Does so beautifully. Runs onto it and kicks a goal. So the first goal of the contest to the Bloods. And appropriately an Indigenous round. The talented youngster in Zach Bates kicks his first. The Bloods first. They move to 1 straight 6. Glenelg get to score. We've gone 4.5 minutes in this first term. And that was a quick, exciting goal from the Bloods, Doug.
It was a quick one, and there's an element of luck in this game, as we know. The ball just bounced beautifully for him, but he's a very skilled player. Coming back from Geelong, he was on their rookie list there. I think he was over there for about 3 years, but could only put together 18 or 19 games at VFL level.
A lot of injuries.
And what a pickup he's been, though, for West Adelaide, returning to his old club. Of course, he's a Riverland boy prior to coming ahead of Westies. As the ball is bounced up, McGinty it is who gets the tap out, and Snook got some sort of a hand pass away. Got it across there to his teammate in Joseph, the former Carlton player, down towards the half-forward line, although it's more towards the centre. West Adelaide with control of it now, bringing it out now towards the grandstand wing. That was a wonderful pick-up there from Bates, wasn't it? That's why Geelong looked at him so favourably. Kicks down towards half-forward. It was intercepted by Agnew. He's quickly tackled there by Middleton, who has started the game well. I can hear the word ball, ball. The umpire says it's a free kick, West Adelaide. And it will be a kick from about 51, 52 metres. Turner still trying to get, there'll be a 25-metre penalty applied here if it's not handed back. But Turner now to line up, and certainly within distance, Phil.
Yeah, clever work from Turner. Just sat over the top of Fogarty, knew that he dived on the footy. The umpire paid the free for holding the ball. And Turner, a talented sportsman, Doug, is a former BMX champion, played some representative basketball at junior level. He can go back now and line up for the Bloods' second goal. Good
story in today's paper, a big Sam Jacobs story, you know, talking about Huey Greenwood, but others who've made the transition from the basketball. In he comes. There's the kick. Oh, I reckon it might have snuck through, you know. I reckon it snuck through. It is a goal from Turner. Amazing stuff. So that's his first for the afternoon. West Adelaide second, making good use of this breeze. We've gone 6.5 minutes into the opening quarter down here at Gliderroll Stadium.
Yeah, it wasn't pretty off the boot. Didn't make great connection, did he, Doug? It sailed through almost helicopter style and only just cleared the line. But nonetheless, the result is the two-finger salute from the goal umpire.
A few times this year, if we had the Ugly Kick Award, you know, I've seen good results from them, and there's another example. It was ugly, wasn't it?
You must see a lot of John Butcher at Centrals, Doug.
John's already kicked 2 goals for Centrals against Port. Their game started half an hour before ours, and Centrals were leading by a couple of goals last time I looked.
So we're back in the middle, and it's a fast break now for the Tigers. McGinty hands off to Malera off the non-preferred left. Terry Malera kicks towards goal, but misses to the left. So through for a minor score, the first blemish for the Tigers. They're 1 behind West Adelaide. They're 2 straight 12.
Hasn't he got wonderful skills? Even when he was at St Kilda, I felt didn't quite win the ball enough, but when he got it, always wonderful to watch.
So the Bloods on this occasion go to the outer side. The kick out came from Keogh, back at the club after some time in the AFL, but it spills in the hands of Vic Kunis. Handballs back in board to Snook. The kick around the body. Should have done better on the goal line there. Keogh just slips over with the hand pass, gets it out eventually to Wasley Black. Back now to Keogh. He'll clear defensive 50 come this broadcast side. The Tigers with some numbers though. Harsma there. Slides in on hands and knees. Gets a handball out to Martini. He's a young man that's impressive at league level, but they've turned the ball over and it's now with Kane Stevens of West Adelaide.
Kane Stevens there with the man bun just blowing around on the breeze. Down towards the half-forward line, but chipping in nicely there was Aaron Joseph. Aaron Joseph, watch him on the on the live stream because he's had some big tagging roles at AFL level. Gary Ablett Jr. and Stephen Milne were a couple that he held rather well. Over 70 games with Carlton, but now this is his, third or fourth year with the Glenelg Tigers. The ball comes in short. Agnew it is who takes the mark. Another one of those mongrel punts. Gets it on there to Haasma, and we find it will be Glenelg coming out of defence. Big McGinty put the mitts up, couldn't take the mark. Intercepted here by his teammate in Martini. The ball goes down towards the half-forward line. It will be trapped here by Malera. Look at that. He's just so clever and elusive. Comes back to Malera. Went with a hand pass. There is the hand pass now. And it's big James Seller. Seller who kicks the ball short and chopped off by the West Adelaide defenders. Deep in defence down there is Carpeney. Bringing the ball back now towards the half-back line. But it's all Glenelg just at the moment as they kick the ball in the air. It was Bradley, but the mark's been taken deep in defence here by the West Adelaide defender.
It was Chris Burgess who took the intercept mark, 20 from defensive goal. Down there at the northern or the Kernahan end, the kick's a well-weighted one and it spots up the player in Agostino. So half-back broadcast side, Agostino's kick looking for Jesse Watchman. Used the body well. Ball spills out the back. Agnew left his opponent. Watchman hears the voice over the top there of Middleton. He steadies from 25 and kicks a goal. So coast-to-coast footy from the Bloods again. Middleton, the recipient of the hand pass, kicks his first. West Adelaide's third, and a fast start for the Bloods, Doug. They're 3 straight 18. Glenelg yet to score. We have gone 9 3/4 minutes in the round 7 clash here at Glenelg.
Well, Jesse Watchman there, that hand pass, you know, he just didn't allow himself to be rushed. He was almost tackled, but he did it so calmly and did it brilliantly. And it was a good kick too by Middleton. This has been a dream start for West Adelaide. What have we played? About 10 minutes into the opening quarter. 3 goals straight. Glenelg 1 behind 1 point. And Jesse Watchman, another interesting story, having been at the club, then went back to Blackwood and now returning to the club. So he'll be looking for a big performance here today, Phil. Down towards the half-forward line, we find it is Glenelg into attack this time. That breeze is certainly playing a little bit of havoc with some of the players there. McGinty got the hand pass away. Here's a chance now. Oh, it fell out of the hands there of Scott. He usually doesn't miss too many like that. Here's a snapshot for goal and through for a minor score there. It's Vic Kunis who puts it through. The former Sturt boy, Mount Compass boy, now playing with the Bays. What did he kick, 4 last week or the week before?
The week before, 4 I think it was, against the Dogs, and kicked 77 goals for Mount Compass back in 2015, so he knows where the big sticks are.
Good to see him back playing SANFL footy though, you know, great to see him in the country, but you know, you'd like to see lads playing at the highest level possible, and he's certainly good enough to be playing SANFL footy.
When he came on the scenes at Sturt at the Double Blues, he had a bit of a cult following. The Cheers squad had a bit of a Ziggy, Ziggy, Ziggy chant happening, so he's got that great name, hasn't he? Ziggy Vic Kunis. What a great name for football commentators.
It is, it is. There's the throw-in. McGinty it was who was that Seller. Who's doing the ruck work down there?
McGinty.
It was McGinty that time. Hand pass came out there from Barry. Barry got it across to Curran. Another hand pass there. It is Nicholson involved in that little exchange. Or was it Sawford? Sawford it was. And this time it is Scott. There's a long, long shot for goal. That is a magnificent kick. As you said before, Phil, he can kick a football. Probably not that long of a kick, but that just shows that the Breeze is doing some strange things. Glenelg gone to 1 goal to 8, but trailing West Adelaide 3 goals straight, 18. 10 points the margin at the 12-minute mark of the opening quarter down here at Glenelg Oval.
Yeah, great penetration in the kick from Josh Scott there as well, Doug. Just kept it low, knew that he'd be kicking into the teeth of the Breeze, and as a result of kicking the goal, we've seen him actually gone into the middle now. So interesting move from coach Matty Loken. Scott playing mainly as a centre-half forward in his career, but now plying his trade rather as a midfielder. A big McGinty in the ruck there as well for the Tigers, up against Daniel Webb. The aforementioned Webb just won out, and Scott on cue got a hand pass. It was partially intercepted. Contested footy now, a lot of numbers around the ball. Umpire Zaboro comes in and says, my footy. We're in the cricket wicket area here at Glenelg, as Doug Oakley mentioned earlier. The Saka played a few Redbacks cricket games here earlier in the year. The resumption of play sees Batley, the former Eagle, jam it on the boot, kicks inside 50. Curran just overran it. The ball needs to sit for him. Coming through nicely, the skipper in Bradley. The hand pass put Joseph under pressure, but his experience saw him get the handball back out now to Sawford. The former Magpie puts Agnew under some pressure. Good work in there from the West Adelaide forwards. And it's forced a stoppage now inside attacking 50 for the Bloods. Well done from the West Adelaide forwards there, Doug. They just put enough pressure on the Tigers defenders.
Yeah, Logan Hill was the player that put most pressure on there. over 100 games with Westies, and one of those good, consistent performers over a number of years after coming from the VFL. Coburg, as I remember. As the ball goes back now towards the centre wing, it is Glenelg there through Snook. No, he hasn't got it now. Comes out to McGinty. There's another hand pass that came out there to the Glenelg player in McFarlane. Kicks the ball high in the air, thumped away. The ball is on the ground. Scott, good football again out to McFarlane, but chipping in there was Aaron Filkey. He's written into the ground, and a free kick, much to the disdain, if that's the word, of the Glenelg supporters. In comes Filkey. Oh, look at the breeze. Carry that right up in towards the teeth of gold. It comes off hands, and Agnew is content to let the ball just dribble over the line. West Adelaide on to 3-1-19, leading Glenelg 1 goal, 2-8. Westies going with the breeze at Glenelg Oval.
So the skipper, Andrew Bradley, will take the kick-out duties. Hails from the southeast town of Kybe Bollight. Played in the under-18s premiership for the Tigers back in 2009. They've turned the footy over now, have the Tigers. It's back inside 50 for the Bloods. Middleton at the back, brings it to ground. Haasma overran the footy, dives in over the top of it again. Not going anywhere, and umpire Zaboro comes in and says, my ball. Underneath the scoreboard here, the Physio Extra scoreboard at Glyderol shows the visitors leading by 11 points. 12 minutes into this, 14 minutes into this opening term. Martini now over the ball. He's taken in a tackle by Filkey, again going nowhere. And we'll have another ball up.
I wonder how many times you'll say Kybe Bollight today.
I've got one out, Doug. I think I'll leave it at that because I do struggle with the pronunciation sometimes.
I think it's Jack Trencove's old club,
yep,
to
correct.
be honest. Yeah.
Yep. Back at the action. The ball has spilled out from Joseph. He was taken in a tackle by Stevens. It's now with Howard. He's jammed on the boot, kicked it towards the boundary line. Vic Kunis applies a tackle on Agostino. 60 from goal, hard up against the boundary line. We're going nowhere. It's the Bloods by 11 points. Round 1 SANFL action, and you're on the stream with Doug Oakley.
And you can probably hear a few sound effects in the background. I could, Phil. But we're fairly close to some of the coaching quarters. Let's just leave it at that, as Curran has the ball. Curran, good to see him back playing too, because he had some injury problems after coming across from the Horsham area. And there's the ball all locked up again, right near the scoreboard, the Glyderol garage door scoreboard, that at the moment shows 11 points in favour of West Adelaide. Umpire throws the ball up. Up they go again. Not real pretty football. The umpy in there once again and calling for a bounce. So, not so much a bounce, it's a ball up these days. There it is. Up they go. Comes off hands. There's a hand pass that comes out there almost. Riley McFarlane was in there. He couldn't burst his way clear. A hand pass this time. West Adelaide with a shot for goal. It ends up in the hands here of Bradley. Bradley now swings the ball back in towards the centre of the ground, taken by Schiller. There'll be a free kick to Glenelg. I think I can hear the sound. Ball. And the free kick to be taken there by the...
Big McBean.
It is Big McBean. First time I've seen the Bays this year, so I'm getting used to what they look like. As the ball comes down now towards the centre wing, it wasn't a real good bounce that time for Snook. It's taken by Middleton, who started brilliantly, got it across to his skipper in Schmidt, in towards centre half forward, and that's a terrific mark, a defensive mark there by young Fogarty. I reckon there's more than a few AFL clubs looking at him. I did see Grant Coffey snooping around earlier. He's probably gone off to see another game somewhere. He knows enough about young Fogarty. Grant doing a bit of recruiting for West Coast Eagles, as we all know. But there'll be other recruiters here today, Phil.
Absolutely. Darcy, a very talented youngster, touted as a potential top 10 pick in the draft. So in the meantime, the Tigers have gone to the outer side. The kick looking for Martini. The fisted spoil over the boundary line. It came from Keogh. In front of the trainer's dugout, we'll have a boundary throw-in on that outer side, left half forward for the Bloods. They've got an 11-point lead as we near time on here at Glyderol Stadium. The hit out, fell the way there of Batley. He follows up with a tackle on Martini. And Alex Martini, not shaken at league level, Doug. He's not afraid to put his body over the line.
No, again, it's the first time I've seen him, and already some promising signs in the game from young Martini, Phil.
So umpire Burke throws the footy aloft. Seller did the hit out from over the back. Over the top of the footy now. A lot of numbers around the ball. Dual West Adelaide players there applying a tackle. Getting up off the bottom of the pack there. The boy from Cowkey. It's Riley McFarlane.
It's what happened in New South Wales, isn't it, Phil?
I think so, Doug, yep. You'll know your regions better than I, but back at the action. The Tigers go on the burst forward now of the footy. It's off now to Carl Nicholson. He's kick inside 50, looking for Scott. Good spoil from Wasley Black. One-on-one footy, McBean and Keogh. Keogh did well to keep it in front of himself. Got help from Burgess. Back now to Wosley Black again to Keogh. Here's the voice of the veteran there in care, and he'll chip short and find a fellow veteran in Shannon Green, and it's Shannon Green for the Bloods at half-back grandstand side.
Back to Kalki, and we won't talk about it all after. Actually, I think it might be in Victoria.
It is Tanner Smith country. Tanner's a recruit now playing for North Adelaide.
That's right. It's up near Horsham somewhere. That's where it is. It's on the road from Horsham down to the South Australian border.
Correct.
I've got that feeling, yeah. As this time it's Agnew, another boy from country South Australia this time, who kicks the ball very, very high in the air, down towards the half-forward line. No one able to take the mark. It's a pretty willing encounter so far. It's been a good game to watch. As there's a whistle gone, it will be a free kick here, I think, to West Adelaide. And it's Chris Schmidt. Hasn't he made a real difference since coming back in, as he would to any team at SANFL level? Of course, he played AFL football, a couple of games with Brisbane, and then, of course, more games with Adelaide.
Even though I've been on a diet, Doug, I do know that cream rises to the top, and Chris Schmidt is a class above.
You've already done your 4 laps of the oval, haven't you? No kidding. Terrific stuff. Kane Stevens down towards the half-forward line, comes off hands. Glenelg with control of the ball now, back in towards the centre wing, and Josh Scott. Such a mobile player and a good player. That is a magnificent kick. Oh, it just went just that little bit too far for Nicholson, and the West Adelaide defenders are able to mop up. There's Stevens, who's been a prolific ball winner since coming across from the NEFL competition. There's a hand pass that comes out, a funny little kick there by the player in young Rankin. Keen to see him do well today. He's only 17 years of age and a terrific talent. In fact, you were saying before, Phil, off air that somebody was saying to you that he's naturally one of the most gifted players they've seen at this age in SANFL Macca's League football.
Yeah, without a doubt. He's only a youngster, only played the 5 games, but already kicked 10 goals, and a real talent, the younger brother of South Adelaide's Matthew. As we're back at the action, 40 out from the Tigers, from the Bloods goal rather.
And Matthew playing some great footy down in defence these days after being more of a half-forward winger.
Yeah, originally with West Adelaide. So umpire Bowen throws the footy aloft, trying to burst his way through. It was the aforementioned Rankin, but the ball just ricocheted in the Sawford direction. Andrew Bradley there for the Tigers applies an interesting tackle on his West Adelaide opponent. And that player there was from the Bloods, giving away a free kick, Jacob Carger, against his former club. Hails from Brighton just down the road. So the Tigers defensively now, chip sideways, and it's Curran who's taken the mark. Underneath that scoreboard that still shows the visitors, West Adelaide 3-1-19, Glenelg 1-2-8. Just about, just ticked into time on rather. The kick to the outer side, flying at the back there, Watchman. Seller couldn't take it at the front, spills out in the direction there of Nicholson. Taps it forward, but taken there by the Bloods. Logan Hill with an underground hand pass. Finds Schiller, back now to Kerr. Off now to Batley, who's racking up possession early. Has a bounce in the middle of Gliderol Stadium. Evades around his would-be tackler in Seller. Does well to put the afterburners on, does Batley. Kicks inside 50 now, down there looking for a fly at the back. 1-2, Filkey couldn't take it. Good work from Curran of the Tigers and the Glenelg side. The chain of hand passes ends with Agnew. Clear defensive 50. The kick to centre wing spots up the talented Ian Malera.
Ian Malera, what will he do? Goes with a hand pass on this occasion. Comes out now to big Seller. Seller, who was a very high draft pick for Adelaide, goes further down the ground, and the ball is knocked across the boundary line. And Vic Kunis also knocked across the boundary line. And in fact, he's got himself a free kick.
Yeah, high contact, Doug.
High contact. So Ziggy Vic Kunis. He's about 55 metres out from goal. It's a bit hard to pick the breeze. It seems to be coming in a bit from the west, so I'm not sure that this is going to really favour him. In he comes, kicks for goal. Not a bad sort of a kick, more of a centering kick. The players go high, no one able to take the mark. It's in the hands of Schiller. Went with a hand pass to Webb. Webb with another hand pass, and it's knocked across the boundary line. I think we're seeing clear evidence again here today that players are so careful that they don't allow the ball to go out, or if they do, you know, they're not hand passing or kicking the ball out of bounds. Put it that way, Phil.
Yeah, of course, the last possession rule. The last couple of seasons at SANFL level means the team that passes the ball over the boundary line last moment, it is a free kick to the opposition. So back at the play, Schiller handballs off now to Bates. His kick partially smothered and over the boundary line at Ricochet, so we'll have a throw in. Got binoculars on the outer side. A healthy crowd here, and I spot a man that you've done a bit of work with in your radio times, Doug. Matt Rose, playing for the South Adelaide Footy Club. He's just out there as an interested observer. He plays, of course, tomorrow for the Panthers up against the Double Blues down at Hickenbotham. That should be a good game.
He's been one of the great pickups, you know, one of the great exchanges in, well, not so much an exchange, one of the great moves, certainly from a South perspective. He's been terrific down there.
So we're back at the action. A lot of numbers around the footy. Ben Sawford just pleading for a high tackle free kick, but the umpire said nothing doing. Bates gets himself up off the ground. So centre wing out aside. Big Webb athletically jumps up over the top, hits it down to a teammate. Ball spills back in his direction. Schiller of the Bloods tries to get at a handball, but to no avail. He's pounced upon. We'll have another stoppage in the similar position. Just forward of centre wing out aside, favouring the Tigers. They'd love to get another goal nearing quarter time. They still trail by that margin of 11 points. A lot of numbers around the footy. Big McGinty just gets a hand pass out, but it's intercepted. It spilled into the hands there of Kane Stevens, but Snook over, gets the footy, overruns the ball, gives it back now. His handball's been intercepted though by Bates, and the Bloods are away. He takes a bounce, gets on that preferred left boot, kicks it towards the goal, and misses to the left. So a minor score to the Bloods there, 3-2-20. Glenelg 1-2-8. And here at Glenelg in the SANFL Round 7 Maccas League, we've travelled 23 minutes.
Zach Bates, he's got explosive speed, and being a left footer too, he's just exciting when he gets hold of that ball. This time it's the dependable Chris Curran, deep in defence. Number 22, and he comes. Anytime you can pay tribute to Richie, you call out the number.
That's it.
Yeah. Oh, what a wonderful commentary. I mean, he was Mr. Cricket, wasn't he? It was Haasma who got the ball out there towards the outer side for Glenelg as the quarter-time siren sounds, with West Adelaide holding a 12-point advantage going in at quarter-time. Westies 3-2-20, leading Glenelg 1-8. And Phil, you've got the goal kickers there.
I do indeed, thanks Doug. All individual goal kickers for the Bloods. It was Brett Turner, Mason Middleton and Zach Bates with the goals. And then the sole goal kicker for the Tigers, of course, we have Josh Scott of Glenelg. So that, wow.
And I don't get inside 50s on this one either, which...
I've got that as 14 of the Bloods, 9 to the Tigers.
Oh, yeah, yep.
Oh, wow, I feel that temperature. That's just dropped dramatically, I reckon.
Hasn't it? Gee, I'm glad I brought my coat.
I'm
glad you found your coat.
I found a coat today.
Yeah.
Stand by, Doug, coming back. And welcome back here to Glenelg Stadium at Glenelg, Round 7 Maccas League action. Phil Aspinall and Doug Oakley bringing you all the action here from the West Adelaide and Glenelg clash, where the visitors, the Bloods, they lead 3-2-20 to Glenelg 1-2-8. Quickly run through some stats winners for the Bloods. Kane Stevens with 10, Josh Schiller with 7, Chris Schmidt with 6, Zach Bates with 5. Or for the Tigers, the skipper Bradley with 12, Curran with 8, Snook with 8 and Haasma with 7. We're not far away from this second term getting underway. Umpire holds the ball aloft, and your first caller is Doug Oakley.
So the ball about to go up. Umpire throws the ball up. McGinty and Webb. Webb, spectacular tap out. Got it across to Stevens. Couldn't burst his way clear. Glenelg going to the scoring end, the Phyllis end or the Glenelg Primary School end down here at Glenelg Stadium. So the umpy throws the ball up once again. Up they go. A bit of a wrestling match in the middle there. No one able to break their way clear. Umpire says that was a high tackle. So it's a free kick to Glenelg in the centre of the ground. And young Fogarty it is, kicking the ball down towards half forward. But intercepting and taking the mark there. It is a West Adelaide mark. And it looks like Aaron Wasley-Black who has taken the mark. Brings it out to fellow defender in Daniel Kerr.
Just felt the temperature drop a few degrees, Doug. A little bit darker here at Glenelg. All reports are there's a bit of rain coming from over the coast.
Yes, it still shows about 18 degrees on mine, but I reckon it's a little bit cooler. Our Middleton, that's a good contested mark. I reckon he's played well today, but then again, his immediate opponent, Agnew, has been a good rebounding defender too. So this is one of the great clashes of the game so far. Middleton, an absolute shocker of a kick. Got it across to Filkey. And Filkey is all wrapped up in that one. Not much Filkey could do there. Real good tackle applied there by Agnew. And again, just showing his value as a defender. Up over the top there was Webb. Spectacular stuff. On to Filkey. This is good football. Got it on to Stevens. His first kick for the afternoon, the youngster. He's had a couple of tackles though, and that's always promising. But the kick now is taken away by the Glenelg defenders out towards the half-back line. And I think it's going to beat, no, it's very close to the boundary line. A kick off the ground there by Scott. Down towards the centre wing. And I think he kept the ball in play, did he? Or is it going to be a free kick to West Adelaide?
Well, Nonetheless, it was a tremendous effort from Josh Scott to try and keep it in. I think he just fell short in the last possession rule, Doug, results in a free kick to the Bloods.
No need for interpretation on that one. We just needed the boundary umpire to be in the right position, which he was, and the ball's knocked across the line this time, so it will be a throw-in on the centre wing, on the outer side of the ground. The margin is 12 points in favour of West Adelaide.
So the aforementioned boundary umpire gets involved again. He's going to throw the footy back into play. True centre wing outer side. In front of the tennis courts, we see a few players out there having a bit of a hit this afternoon. So McGinty from the shallow throw-in, tapped it down to a teammate. It fell in the hands of Joseph. Off now to Snook. He kicks wobbly to half forward. Well done though by Daniel Kerr. Hand pass over the top now there to Batley. And he puts a teammate under pressure. Smith wrapped up in a very good tackle there from Nicholson. And it's rewarded with a free kick. An interesting stat, Doug. Carl Nicholson's dad played some reserves footy for the Bloods back in the 90s. And his dad's Scott. So a good connection there playing the Bloods today. It's now with Barry of the Tigers. Don Barry will kick towards the arc of 50, but it's a poor kick. Sliding into attempt to take the mark Martini, but out of bounds on the full. Yeah, so the free kick.
Yeah, I wonder if Carl Nicholson is related to Greg Nicholson too, who played some really good football with West Adelaide in a bygone era. Maybe, maybe not.
We'll have to get that confirmed. But Daniel Kerr felt sorry for his Tigers opponent, and he's given the footy straight back to them. So Don Barry now with a free kick. So Barry's kick inside 50, flying at the back. Vic Kunis. Scott couldn't take it. Well done by Terry Malira. He just went to grounds. Ball spilled out in the direction there of Green. Hand pass now came in the direction of the skipper in Schmidt, but he's wrapped up in a tackle and going nowhere. So just to the left of the Villiers time clock here at Gliderol. Says we've gone 3.5 minutes, second term. The quarter time scores still remain. It's the Bloods by 12 points. Umpire throws the footy aloft. Getting very dark here at Gliderol. We may need the lights later on this afternoon. We're going to have a secondary stoppage. So umpire, looks like umpire Corey Bowen there, the veteran. He's going to get the footy back. Just inside the attacking 50, over there where the boundary joins the 50 arc. So McGinty won this hit out unopposed. Jay Boyle couldn't quite keep it in. Schiller takes him over the line. We'll have a throw in on the outer side, half forward line. It is the Bloods by 12 points, and you're on the SANFL stream and SANFL radio with Doug Oakley.
Beautiful scene down here at Glenelg as I look across there to the outer and the big trees in the background. Many of the people enjoying. It's a coolish afternoon now, but still quite pleasant, as there was the throw in. A bit of a fairly sloppy period of football. Now it is out of bounds on the full. In fact, it was the last disposal too, Phil.
Not so pleasant for those in the outer, Doug, as here comes the rain.
Here comes the rain. It is too. Reminds me of that song by the Eurythmics, is it? Here Comes the Rain. Yes, Annie Lennox and Eurythmics. Brings back a memory or two. You would have got out on the dance floor with that, wouldn't you, Phil?
No, Doug, no.
As McGinty grabs the ball, kicks the ball deep into the attacking zone. It's a free kick here to West Adelaide. Player must have been held, I think.
Yep.
So it was the free kick was to Wesley Black. But comes out towards the half-back line. Again, providing a contest was Middleton. I've enjoyed his game this afternoon. The stats may not show everything, but he has won the ball a bit, and I reckon he can play. We haven't seen the best of Mason Middleton, Phil.
No, he's been competitive. I remember seeing him burst on the scene back in the Foxtel Cup days, in the early days that West Adelaide were involved in that, and thought the boy has talent. Played in a premiership in 2015.
Didn't they win that first Foxtel Cup?
They did indeed.
Yeah.
So the boundary umpire's thrown the footy back into play. It's spilled in the direction there of the player in Schiller, gives it off to Batley. Kicked in the direction of Middleton, competes like he needs to, does well. Over the footy there, Harsma, then taps it in the direction of Agnew. He tried to tap it to the advantage of Barry. Clever hand pass found the way in the direction of Fogarty, then to Nicholson. Josh Scott flew over the top but made a contest. Ball spills out the back in the Malira direction. Well done by Terry, but coming through to intercept Agostino. But he stepped over the boundary line. Agostino and Malira just having a bit to say to each other.
You're having a chat with the Malira boys during the reserves game, Phil,
yeah.
And they're fairly quiet lads, but gee, they can play footy, can't they?
Yeah, exciting youngsters they are. Just having a chat to them in Indigenous round, as you can hear in the effects there, the rain getting heavier here at Gliderol. It's going to make conditions very difficult, but not difficult there for Fogarty. He'll bang it inside 50, good spoil from Sella. Over the top, Agostino gets a hand pass for Batley, who's again racking up possession. Back in the Agostino direction, a bit of aerial ping-pong happening there, and the umpire's found a free kick going the way of the Bloods, and it's going to go to Agostino. I think the call was a throw, Doug, so it's now with the boy from Renmark, Jack Agostino, in the right back pocket.
In comes Agostino, kicks the ball long and deep. Where's number 1? He's not the captain. If he was at Port Adelaide, he would be. And it goes down towards the half-back line or the centre wing, and it's out of bounds.
He was the captain of Sacred Heart in college football. I remember commentating him one night with John Nankerville at the parade when Sacred Heart played St. Peter's.
When I played under-18 footy in my hometown, they used to just throw the jumpers on the floor, just grab one for the day. I always used to try and get number 1. They used to think
you could play.
I was the captain, and I'm sure they went away from the game saying, oh, good player out of form. Anyway, the ball is back. Oh, that rain is getting heavier now. You can probably hear it. There was the forecast of a little bit of thunder later on. West Adelaide with a 12-point advantage. Probably didn't quite make as much use of the breeze as they would have liked, but it's still a handy lead at this stage as the ball comes out now to Watchman. Shepherded nicely, another hand pass comes out. Oh, taken by Stevens. He's held without the ball. No, play on called the umpire. Comes out there to Bates. Bates tried to race off. The ball wasn't quite with him though. And the umpy comes in and says it is going to be a ball up.
The lights have been turned on here at Glider. Doug, it hasn't taken long, as I reckon I just saw a bit of lightning in the background.
So the umpire now to throw the ball high in the air. Big McGinty and Webb. It's been a good battle between these two ruckmen. They're two of the best going around in SANFL Macca's League football. The ball is grabbed, but no one really able to get it. It's very slippery. Logan Hill with a bit of a dribbly kick in the direction of Bates, who will get the free kick. He was manhandled. He's been exciting today, Phil.
He has indeed, Zach Bates. He's a real talented youngster, and great to see him back playing regular footy. As a kick inside 50 was a good one. Couldn't quite take it there in Filkey. The whistle's blown. It's going to be a free going the way of the Tigers as the rain gets heavier and heavier here at Gliderol. Almost at torrential level as Agnew will kick to that outer side. In some space, Vic Kunis takes the mark in the hands, which will be difficult for the rest of the afternoon with a very greasy, wet ball. So right on the apex of halfback, Ziggy Vic Kunis kicks down the line. Good body work, McBean. But Tom Keogh gets a finger on it and it goes over the boundary line.
Got a feeling a lot of people didn't come along really prepared. A few umbrellas up, Phil, in the outer, but there's still some people standing out there. Some have got jackets on, but they'll be soaked. Not by the end of the game, by half-time, even now.
Looking forward to getting home to the warm fire and maybe a cup of tea, but back at the action, McGinty with a hit out, but it's only as far as Stevens. That's West Adelaide's Kane Stevens. He kicks towards Middleton. The ball spills out in the Martini direction. Some pressure from Filkey. Does well to cause the contest. He was outnumbered 2-on-1. Ball ricochets out in the direction now of Agnew. Gets a hand pass off to the player in Fogarty. He'll kick down the line looking for the lead-up player in McBean. The ball spills over the line. Was it touched? No. So last possession rule means a free to the Bloods. It's going to go the way of Tom Keogh. So Keogh now, his second stint at the club after some time in the AFL with Gold Coast. Will kick down the line. Barry flew well before acceptances. Didn't give away a free kick, but the rush kick now from Agnew to half forward, sitting under its Seller. Good spoil from Burgess, high up and under. Good work in there, a bit of aerial ping-pong from Wosley Black. Ball spills in the direction there of Snook. He overruns it. Hand pass from Sawford. He played 14 games for the Magpies. Back now to Fogarty. It's been impressive this afternoon. Kicks to half forward, looking there for Vic Kunis. Great work, though, from the veteran in green off the non-preferred left. Puts it into some space. It needs to sit for Bates, and he's away, is he? Just overran the footy, but Stevens there as well. Great work, Joseph. He slides in, but he's given away a free kick, taking the legs out. I believe it's going to be a free kick coming back the way of the Bloods. So a little unlucky there for the player there in Joseph, but it's a free kick now going the way of Josh Stevens of the Bloods, Doug.
Josh Stevens now. He's a left footer. Looks a fairly likely type. He did well last week in his debut, which was terrific. Comes out to Bates. My goodness, he's a dangerous little footballer. Gets around a couple of opponents. A snapshot for goal. Didn't quite put it through, but I reckon there's something coming. Oh, almost there. So close. It was Karga against his old team, Glenelg.
He's going to get a free.
I think he's got the free kick. It might have been a little bit high.
Correct.
So Jacob Karga now. And he would dearly love to put this one through. 20 games of SANFL football. I reckon he made his debut for Westies last week from memory.
Correct.
So he's played about 19 games with the Bays and now his second game for West Adelaide. Comes in, nice kicking action, straight through the middle. West Adelaide go further ahead. West Adelaide 4 goals to 26. Leading Glenelg 1 goal to 8. 18 points the margin. Well, coming here today, I don't think I expected, I know it's early days, Phil, don't think I expected the scoreline to read like that at this stage.
Yeah, and with the conditions the way they are now, heavy rain here at Glenelg, goals will be at a premium, Doug, and we've seen that. The last goal in the contest was actually Josh Scott's at the 12-minute mark of the first term, so it's been a while since a goal kicked, and Karga, against his former club, actually played in a reserves premiership for the Tigers back in 2012. Gets the Bloods another goal ahead. So we're back in the middle. Webb flew early. The aforementioned Karga comes through. Bursting his way through with some body contact was Filkey. Ball ricochets in the Bradley direction. He soccers it off the ground. Gains some yardage. Well taken by Agostino. Composure from the young man. A beautiful left foot pass off the non-preferred. Spots up Logan Hill. The great leader of the footy club had that shocking broken leg many years ago in his first couple of seasons at SANFL level. He kicks down the line. Turner flew, created the contest. Ball at ground level, trying to burst his way through Boyle. Jams it on the boot, looking for Harsma. Ball spills in his direction, but Bates there applying some pressure. Taps it to his own advantage. McGinty there to apply some pressure on Bates. Coming through was Barry. The ball still in play. Well done by young Stevens. Picks up the footy, wrapped up in a tackle though by Barry, and Barry just extricates it from the contest just as the umpire blew the whistle. So a ball up, left forward pocket down there at the northern end, or the Kernahan end of Glenelg. The ball's ricocheted off of the pack and over the boundary line for a throw-in. So left forward pocket here at Glenelg. It's the Bloods 4-2-26, the Tigers 1-2-8. We've travelled 13 minutes and you're on the SANFL stream and digital pass with Doug Oakley.
Boundary umpire now to throw the ball in. The big fella's doing battle. McGinty grabbed the ball that time. Couldn't get the effective hand pass away. The ball is now in the hands of Sawford. He's lost control. It is as slippery as anything at the moment. And the umpire comes in and says, it will be mine. A 3-goal margin at this stage in favour of West Adelaide.
Cake of soap comes to mind, Doug.
A cake of soap. I was thinking of the same thing, exactly, yeah. Ever tried to catch a cake of soap? Impossible. As there was another hand pass that came out there through Carpenter. A snapshot for goal is through. It is a West Adelaide goal. And players come in, and the player that's kicked it is Erin Wasley-Black. Terrific stuff. West Adelaide now by 24 points. The Bloods 5-2-32, leading Glenelg 1-2-8. As the scoreboard attended, I think he was just waiting for the rain to finish before he went out. But they do a great job. It's good to compliment them because sometimes you just take it for granted they'll be there. And just looking back over the trees there too, there's just a faint rainbow. And I'm not sure there's a pot of gold there for Glenelg at the moment.
Yeah, concerns for coach Matty Locum because in these tricky conditions, the current advantage for the Bloods might be hard to peg back. It's a game-high 24 points. We're back in the middle. The ruckman won a clear hit out. McGinty overran the footy. Sawford just tries to extricate himself. Joseph in there as well for the Tigers. Boyle overran the ball. The ball spills in the direction of Scott, but he's wrapped up in a beautiful tackle from Karga. Going nowhere. Sawford still on his haunches behind the play. Copped a heavy knock.
You sense that West Adelaide have had just that, almost taken their confidence pills.
Yep.
I'm not suggesting they've taken pills or anything, but, you know, there's just a spring in the step, isn't there? They just sense something pretty special happening here today, at the moment anyway, Phil.
Yeah, for sure. The Bloods have come out firing, and they certainly look the better side in this contest. So we're still in the middle of Glenelg Stadium. Umpire Burke will get play back underway. McGinty man handled by Watchman. He does well to follow up and take the ball from the contest, but he's wrapped up in a tackle. Going nowhere, so we'll have another ball up from the umpire. He's asked for the path behind him to be cleared. He throws the footy up. McGinty with a hit out on this occasion, but it spills in the direction of Carpenter. He's bumped off the footy. Andrew Bradley, the skipper, jams it on the left boot. Vic Kunis flew. Green with some body pressure. Great crumbing from Ian Malera. He'll jam it on the boot. Kick towards the goal. How's the bounce? It's a goal! Excitement from the youngster Ian Malera. His first, the Tigers' much-needed second. And Glenelg, they'll move to 2-2-14. West Adelaide 5-2-32. We've travelled 15 and a half minutes second term. And what an exciting goal, Doug Oakley, from an exciting player.
Yeah, and that's his first kick of the game too. It's taken him a while to get it. 16 minutes into the second term. One kick, one hand pass. But that just shows what those elusive forwards can do. And the Malera boys, of course, are as good as any. I know we make mention of the fact, will there be AFL scouts looking at him? I think the answer is a clear yes.
Oh, without a doubt. And as Grant Coffey said, if he can play, he'll be looked at.
It's as simple as that, isn't it? Yeah. The ball back in the centre of the ground. Kane Stevens couldn't quite control it that time. But that was the goal that Glenelg needed. They still trail by 18 points here at the 16-minute mark of the second quarter. And a free kick going the way of West Adelaide to their inspirational skipper, in Chris Schmidt. They do look a different team with him in, as you'd expect they would, as the kick goes down towards the half-forward line. Some great big black clouds across there to the east. That won't affect us because they've already blown through, of course, but I'm not sure what's behind us. We can't see through the wall. Although, Phil, in your playing days, I'm told you'd run through a brick wall.
I did run into the wall at Norwood at the parade in an under-17s trial game once.
That's what I'm confusing you with. As the boundary umpire now to throw the ball in. McGinty and Watchman. No one was able to get the tap out. It will be the Bays, though, back in towards the centre of the ground. It's amazing what that goal does. They look to be playing with a bit more confidence now. You can hear the yellow ball. Umpire says it was mine. I don't think there was any prior opportunity there. Daniel Kerr on the bottom of that pack, as he often is. Terrific defender for West Adelaide for over 200 games. There's the ball up. McGinty, good tap out. Got it across there to Sawford. His kick not all that effective. Oh, that'll be a free kick against Malira. Players rushing in. They'll get a bit frustrated here today. That was just an unfortunate tackle, that one, I think, rather than anything else. And the free kick going the way of Agostino.
So Agostino now, kick to the outer side. He spots up a teammate in Schiller. Played in the Premiership in 2015. Kicks down the line. 1-2. Middleton couldn't take it. Good spoil Agnew. Ball goes over the boundary line. A bit of feeling in this one. Malira and Wasley Black still having a go at each other as we've got a blood rule at the moment, Doug. This looks to be Chris Burgess coming to the ground.
I bet at the end of the game they give each other a hug.
Of course. There'll be the mutual respect.
Yeah.
But at the moment, a bit of feeling between the two. And Burgess, I reckon he's copped a knock to the nose. A bit of blood coming from the nostrils. His replacement, Logan Hill, he's back out there now, so the umpire should be able to give instruction to get the boundary umpire to throw the footy back into play. Umpire Corey Bowen does do so. The boundary umpire prepares himself, gets the ball back in. Seller up against Watchman. Seller won the hit out. Schmidt there just tries to brush off the tackler in McFarlane. Ball going nowhere. In the bottom of the pack, we'll have another stoppage. So 18.5 gone second term. It's the Bloods 5-2-32. The Tigers 2-2-14. Phil Aspinall and Doug Oakley here on the SANFL Digital Pass and SANFL Radio Stream. Resumption of play. We're going to have another stoppage now. All the numbers around the footy again. Some quick scores from around the ground. It's a tight one at Alberton. Half time, it's the Bulldogs by 1 point over the Magpies. And the Crows out to a 5-goal lead over North Adelaide at Prospect.
Of course, the round being completed tomorrow when South plays Sturton. Last night, a good win. What was it, 31 points, I think, at the end to Norwood over the Eagles. And there was a surprise result, not the win, but the fact the Eagles only kicked 5-6 for the game.
Yeah, I was at that contest just as a spectator, and neither side scored a goal at all in the final term. So a bit of an arm wrestle, and the Redlegs showed their class. Back at the action, the umpire's going to pay holding the ball. The player from West Adelaide in Schmidt dived on it. Didn't get the footy out, so the free kick going the way of Sawford. He hands off to Barry, and now the Tigers are away. Dom
Barry, been a bit quiet today, but he's one of those explosive players. Gets it down in the direction of McBean. He can't take the ball, and the West Adelaide defenders are up to it once again. There's a hand pass, comes out there to Stevens. He goes with the left foot. He's a natural left footer. Good mark. Terrific mark, considering the greasiness of the ball. And Mason Middleton. I've said it a couple of times, the clash between Middleton and Agnew, I think, has been one of the great highlights of this game today, Phil.
Absolutely.
It has been terrific. And free kick going the way of Glenelg now. And that free kick to be paid here to Andrew Bradley.
Yeah, speaking of highlight, one of the great things of Andrew Bradley's game is his chase downs, and he did that exactly then with a rundown tackle on his West Adelaide opponent in Rankin. So Bradley's free kick goes to the outer side. Scott flies, ball ricochets towards the boundary line. Over there, the Glenelg trainer just letting the footy bang into the fence. I reckon that Glenelg trainer was a former Australian table tennis player, Tammy Goff. She's involved here at the Tigers as a trainer.
And throughout the broadcast and the filming, Phil is going to name every spectator here at the Oval.
Well, we've seen Matty Rose, now Tammy Goff. Back at the play, the free's been found against the Tigers. James Seller with a push in the back.
Isn't one of the great things, though, about SANFL Maccas League footy, though? There are people that there are, connected with footy or perhaps even with other sports, Phil. And I think it's just one of the great things.
Absolutely. Great community involvement at this level. Ball's just being retrieved now for the West Adelaide player. It's going to come back the way of Jesse Watchman. He gives it back now to Logan Hill in the 1-2. So Hill will kick to the outer side half-forward line. Flying up the top there. Couldn't take the mark. Was the player in Schiller through the fingers. Ball spills in the direction now of Sawford. Bit of class and composure from the boy from West Wyalla. Kicks down the line. A good body work. And a mark there from Josh Scott. So from Lake's entrance, Josh Scott kicks around the body. Not a great kick, but Nicholson traps it well. Steps around Schmidt. Gets onto the non-preferred left. The kick towards goal is a major. Great goal there from Nicholson. His first, the Tigers' third rather. And Glenelg moved to 3-2-20. They're 12 points adrift of West Adelaide. 5-2-32. 21 and a half gone second term. And some real composure and class there from the young man of the Tigers there, Doug.
Yeah, young Carl Nicholson looked very, very good. And, you know, let's keep in mind, it's a slippery ball. It's probably a little bit heavier. And he did it just superbly. And Scott, OK, his kick didn't come right off the boot as he would have liked, but it was still good football. Scott getting more and more into the game. Yeah,
and an awareness to play on quickly because they had some momentum, some numbers moving forward of the ball. So a talented player is Josh Scott.
There's the ball up to get play underway. It'll be Glenelg going forward once again. It's young Malera. He's pushed after he kicked. There'll be a free kick down the ground after disposal. Good umpiring. And it's his older brother in Terry Malera who will go back and line up for goal. I reckon he'll do the boomerang kick.
He's kicked a few from this pocket, the snout-slouts pocket as it's known, and he's looking in board, Doug, but I reckon he's just doing that because it's the team thing to do. He's going to have a shot on goal.
Oh, of course he is. Of course he is. And I reckon it's, yeah, I think you've got to from there. And it, no, didn't do the, no need to do the check side or the boomerang kick, banana kick, whatever you want to call it. Oh,
It just missed.
It just missed. I'm about to sing his praises. He's put it through for a minor score. Glenelg gone to 3-3-21. Trailing West Adelaide 5-2-32. And we have played 23 minutes in the second quarter.
So Daniel Kerr to take the kick out for the Bloods. Goes short to himself in that scoreboard pocket. And the long-ranging kick clears defensive 50. Middleton flew. Couldn't take it at ground level. Kane Stevens gets a hand pass out to his namesake in Josh Stevens. No relation. And the kick around the body is a poor one. Chopped off there by Curran. So centre wing out of side, Chris Curran. Wore a helmet a few weeks ago after a heavy head clash earlier in the year. Kicks inside 50, the fly there from McGinty. Ball ricochets in the direction of Scott. Jams it on the boot, flying at the top, McBean. One-on-one with Keogh. Well done there by the aforementioned Keogh. Gives a hand pass off there to Kane Stevens. Now there to the teammate in Green. Some composure from Green. A beautiful pair of hands there from young Rankin. It was a bullet-like pass and he took it in the hands, did Isaac Rankin. And a good kick, couldn't quite find the player down there for the Bloods in Turner, but keeps it in play. Also there for the Tigers is the veteran in Joseph. He's wrapped up in a tackle by Green. The umpire says going nowhere. A bit of push and shove from the two players there in Joseph and Green.
I reckon Joseph would like these conditions. I mean, his early football, of course, as you mentioned, was played with Glenorchy, suburb of Hobart, and the wettish conditions, he would have played a fair bit. This man would have too, coming from Canberra. In Stevens, kicks the ball down towards half forward, and a free kick is paid there. West Adelaide going forward once again there through Turner. West Adelaide with control through Hill, and the mark has been taken by Bates. It was 30 metres out.
So I was going to say, just going to say, Doug, it was real composure from Logan Hill because he could have blazed away with a wet, heavy ball, was running into an open goal, but had the composure to lower the eyes and saw Zach Bates in some space. A clever kick over the top, and as you said, 30 metres out, Bates can mark. And for mine, probably one of the best players on the ground. His excitement has been really entertaining this afternoon.
Oh, I mean, he is such a dangerous player. He's lightning quick. He's a left footer, which gives him that, just that added extra as he comes in now, 35 metres out. Beautiful kicking action. Mongrel punt puts it through for a minor score. So it's West Adelaide 5-3-33, leading Glenelg 3-3-21 as we approach the half-time interval.
Former Western Bulldogs listed Christian Howard will take the kick out for Glenelg. Chips short to himself, then goes long down the middle. Scott flies, couldn't take it at the back there. Bit of aerial ping-pong from Sella. Fists it towards the advantage side of centre circle. McBean not there. Couldn't get it there, but great work from Sawford. Handball's off there to Snoot. He'll run inside 50, kick to an open goal line. Getting back there, Logan Hill. The ball's bouncing towards the goal. It's going to trickle through for a minor score. So behind there to the Tigers through Snoot. They move on to 3-4-22. West Adelaide a 5-3-33. We've travelled 23 and a half minutes, second term, here at Gliderroll Stadium.
There's the kick in, and it is West Adelaide now with control of the ball on that half-back line. And the boy who's taken that mark out there, Phil, is
Wasley Black.
It is Wasley Black. There he is, of course, with his reddish boots or the tinge of red in them. Kicks out towards the centre wing. Mason Middleton takes another mark. On the true centre wing, outer side of the ground. Looks like the tennis matches have been called off for the afternoon, Phil.
I think so.
Or perhaps it's Leamington time, I don't know. As the ball goes in now towards the player leading up the ground in Bates. He is so elusive. And again, if you were picking a SANFL state team, you'd certainly look at Zach Bates. In he comes, kicks the ball very high in the air. Up they go. It comes off hands. Will be picked up here, though, by the West Adelaide player in Carpenter. Got it across to Stevens. A snapshot across the face of goal. It'll be a free kick to the Glenelg defenders, being the last disposal. So it is a margin of some 11 points. 11 points down here at Glenelg Stadium. West Adelaide leading Glenelg.
So the free kick, will come out from defensive 50 for the Tigers. It's through Curran, and a good strong mark from James Seller. Takes the mark, 60 from defensive goal. So Seller kicks down the line, looking for McBean, front position. Good strong pair of hands from Liam McBean. Takes it at full stretch.
It's only his second kick for the afternoon.
It's an effective one. It goes to his teammate there in Terry Malira. So Malira, too far out to score. Gets a lead from Don Barry, still in some space. The chip over the top finds Howard. So Christian Howard off that left boot. It's a penetrating kick inside 50. It's to no one though. Burgess could have marked it there. No voice from his West Adelaide teammates. And he's fisted it over the boundary line in front of the Snouts Louts.
In fact, had he let it go and they all let it go, they would have had they would have been the recipients of a kick, I would have thought. But yeah, you're right, Phil. Probably just that lack of talking.
So the ball thrown in, right forward pocket down there at the primary school end. Schmidt overran it, Snook in there as well. Coming through, Joseph collided with Barry. The ball spills out in the direction of Batley. He'll jam it on the boot, kick it towards the boundary line, but Agnew does well to intercept. Kicks to the hot spot, couldn't trap it, Seller. Good work down there from the West Adelaide player and Josh Stevens. The hand pass just behind a teammate in Hill, but it has some time to follow up. And go back for the footy in their care as well. Tries to toe poke it off the ground. Good work in there from Rankin. Daniel Kerr, you mentioned earlier in the call, Doug, one of the veterans of the West Adelaide side. Had a little bit of a belated pre-season. He went overseas with former West teammate Ben McCready. The two of them travelled Europe and South America. Saw some great photos of on Facebook of the boys having a great time travelling overseas. But what a great player Daniel Kerr's been.
Been a terrific player, hasn't he? Yeah, over all those years. Fairly unobtrusive in a sense, but I think I'm right in saying he's represented SANFL, hasn't he, at those interstate interstate games?
Couple of times, yep.
Well, there it is, the half-time siren. It is West Adelaide, 5 goals, 3, which would be 33. Leading Glenelg, 3 goals, 4, 22. So the margin is 11 points in favour of the Bloods down here at Glenelg Stadium. Phil, have you got the goal kickers there?
I do indeed. Thank you, Doug. For the Bloods, it's all singles. We've got Brett Turner, Mason Middleton, Aaron Wasley-Black, Jacob Carger and Zach Bates with singles, while for the Tigers, just the 2 goal kickers, 3 for them rather, 1 apiece to Josh Scott, Ian Malira and Carl Nicholson. So repeat team. Well, we have a close one out at Alberton, although Port skipping away with a couple of late goals. They're almost 3/4 time, and it's the Magpies 10-11-71 leading Central Districts, who've been probably the most disappointing side of season 2017. The Bulldogs there 8-6-54, so a 17-point margin in favour of the home side there.
How many goals to Brett Eddy in that game, Phil?
If we have a look at the stats now, Doug, if I jump back over to the Port game, we've got Brett Eddy. He has kicked the 2 goals, as has Laddams, while for the Bulldogs they're a key forward, and of course playing against his former club, John Butcher has 2, and the skipper Trent Goodrum has 2, and the vice-captain Luke Harble with 2 as well. And I'm going to do it, Doug. Luke Harble from that great club over there near Wagga, Ganmain, Grong Grong, Matong. I don't know how I got it in.
Is that where he's from?
He is indeed.
Actually, yeah, one of my... I got a cap, the beanie.
Yeah, I've got one as well.
You've got one too?
Yep.
And my son proudly wears it.
I wear it when I go for my walk at 5 a.m. when it's nice and fresh. But back here at Glenelg, 2 sides going to position. For the Tigers on the bench there, we've got, looks like Martini, Vitkunis and Haasmar. The Bloods players already at the bench, so we can't acknowledge who they are. But Phil Aspinall and Doug Oakley calling all the action here at Glenelg, round 7 Macca's League.
Phil, we both tipped Glenelg at the start of the game. You're still sticking with the Bays?
I think they might be able to get over the line, but I think West Adelaide are playing some good footy. We'll find out what's going to happen in the second half. Your first caller, Doug Oakley.
Umpire holds the ball aloft. Daniel Webb and Warwick McGinty going up high. McGinty did get the tap out, follows up, got the hand pass away to Snook. That was terrific football by Glenelg, down deep into their attacking zone, but it will be taken here by Green, one of those real dependable defenders. Gets it on there to the very, very bright-booted Batley. This is Batley, recruited from Woodville West Torrens. think his great strength is his ability to run with the ball. Oh, it wasn't such a good kick. Chipping in there was Dom Barry, one of the players we said would have to lift, and he has lifted too. Not such a good kick this time as Burgess runs the ball across the line and out of bounds. There will be a throw in. It's about 50 metres around from the Glenelg goal. The Bay's trailing at the moment, though, by 11 points over West Adelaide. We've played 45 minutes in this, the third quarter.
So the ball back into play. McGinty now just tries to burst from the contest, but a great chase down tackle from Kane Stevens, the young man from Queanbeyan.
Ever been there, Phil?
No, I can't say I have, Doug.
I've been to Canberra. It's right next door, technically in New South Wales, of course, but right beside the ACT.
He's a two-time NEFL Team of the Year player is Kane Stevens, and a premiership player for the Bloods. He's kicked it to the outer side. It's marked there by Big Middleton. The whistle's gone off the footy. We're going to have a blood rule. On this occasion, it's Aaron Wasley-Black of West Adelaide who's been told to come from the ground. Can't quite see through the binoculars as to where the blood's coming from, but the umpire has advised he's got blood flowing, so has to come off. So the ball will be with Mason Middleton, just forward of centre wing on the outer side. His replacement coming onto the oval is the former Tiger, Jacob Carger. So umpire Burke calls time on. We're back underway now. Middleton.
Must have been a knock to the back of the head, judging by the staff down there on the bench there to Wasley-Black, but he looks to be okay, Phil.
So Middleton's kick's gone inside attacking 50, but it's chopped off by McFarlane. So the electrician by trade, he's got the left calf heavily strapped. He's had some injury issues this year. Gets called to play on. He'll kick to that outer side half-back flank. Good ball in there from Kerr. Ends in the hands of Webb. The hand pass there was smothered by Ian Malira. Went back in the direction of Agostino. He's followed up in a good tackle by Malira. He's going to be rewarded, is he? No, play on, the ball's out. It's off now to the skipper in Schmidt. He'll chip in board and find the man in Keogh. So Tom Keogh with a long kick inside 50. Flying at the back, Middleton, 1-2, couldn't take it. Good work from Martini. Some composure from the young man. Hand pass finds Snook over the top. Looks for Bradley, puts him under some pressure. Great tackle from Filkey. Takes Bradley to ground. The umpire deemed no prior opportunity. And we'll have a ball up there on the outer side half-forward flank, the left half-forward flank. It is the Bloods 5-3-33, Glenelg 3-4-22.
Love the way Filkey did that. He just waited and like a wild beast, just launching himself at his prey. That's exactly what he did as the ball now back towards the centre wing. Players just sort of pushing the ball forward. A couple of players there having a little bit of a push and a shove also. Big McGinty and Chris Schmidt. And it's a West Adelaide kick in towards the half-forward line. Chance again for West Adelaide and a free kick against Kane Stevens. The free kick paid there to Barry, who's opened up this quarter pretty well. He goes in short and finds Snook outer side of the ground. Spectators glad of the drier conditions after that. Wasn't quite torrential downpour, but it was pretty heavy rain earlier. In comes Snook. He kicks the ball long and deep, but not effective. Malira took the mark, but he was over the boundary line. So the free kick going there to Batley. No, it will go the way of... It's a West Adelaide free. Is that Middleton?
It is.
It is Big Middleton. Liked his game today at centre half forward, but here's his kick. It just fell that little bit short, and Glenelg will bring the ball out of defence. This time a hand pass from McFarlane. That was good football on to Sawford. He racks up the possessions, doesn't he? I think he got over 40 last year in one game, or was it the year before? Another hand pass there from Curran. Comes out to Nicholson. Nicholson will go short. Oh, good anticipation, and the West Adelaide defence is very, very strong. Turner went with a hand pass. That'll be a free kick to Glenelg because that was the last serious disposal. It's taken here by Nicholson, driving the ball forward, and the mark has been taken on this occasion by young Malira. Ian Malira kicks the ball high in the air, comes off hands. A chance now for his brother, and Terry Malira, who's got those magical skills and puts it through for his first for the afternoon. He's an exciting footballer to watch, is Terry Malira, and did that then in such fine style. Terry Malira, let's go to the budget here. That's his 79th goal with in SANFL Macca's League. Of course, he played for Port Magpies as well.
Yep.
And it takes Glenelg that little bit closer. What are they? 4-4-28. 5 points in arrears of Westies, 5-3-33, Phil.
Yeah, when the ball's at ground level in front of goals, Terry Malira is always dangerous. And you said from Port Magpies, played 30 games with them, 30 with St Kilda, and of course also is the brother-in-law of Gavin Wanganeen. He's married to Gavin's sister Rachel. So back in the middle, the Tigers with the important first goal of this second half. Schmidt overran the footy. Now to the player in Batley, the former Eagle. His hand pass a poor one, but Schiller has time. Here's the voice of Stevens over the top now with a chain of hand passes. The Bloods have it now through Rankin. He'll set it up, go inside 50, but a poor kick. Chopped off by Curran. So Chris Curran now called to play on, needs to be careful. Bates will chase him down from behind. Curran gets his kick away in time. Well done by Stevens' front position. That's Josh Stevens. Brought the ball to ground level, but Andrew Bradley has been one of the best players on the ground. Follows up with a hand pass there to Barry. Gives it backwards now to Martini. Played in the under-18s premiership for the Tigers last year. His kick, though, chopped off by the player in Isaac Rankin. Maybe too far out to score. The player, Don Barry, standing the mark. Rankin's kick's a poor one. It's chopped off nicely by Snook. He'll kick it to that outer side wing. It's a nice pass, and it's found the arms there of the big man, McBean. He'll kick down the line. Gets a lead from Seller, just nudged under the footy, and Burgess has given away a free kick. I've seen James Seller play an attack this afternoon. Mainly has been playing in defence. One-time Australian representative at volleyball under-19s level. The kick inside 50. McGinty flew over the back Fogarty. McFarlane in there applying a tackle on Keogh. Going nowhere inside, attacking 50 for the Tigers. About 30 metres out from goal. Umpire Zaboro calls for time on. We're going to have a stoppage inside the attacking 50. So the umpire throws the footy aloft. Big McGinty rather jumps early. Third man up was Ian Malera. Ball spills in the Snook direction, but it's taken there by Carpeney. He hand passes over the top. He finds the player in Filkey. He'll chip short to centre wing. It's a well-weighted pass, and it's Watchman for the Bloods at centre wing, outer side.
This is Jess Watchman. Probably hasn't done enough, but he looks okay as he kicks the ball high in there. That's a terrific mark. Using his body beautifully there was Mason Middleton. He has been a real target today. This time there's his kick now in the direction of Logan Hill. Went up, almost got the mark. Hill, great recovery, did it particularly well. No one able to burst their way clear. Carpeney almost got the ball away, couldn't do so. And Glenelg going forward. Poor kick comes out of the hands of Wosley Black. Another hand pass. Players are having a few fits of the fun balls there. It is West Adelaide. Big long kick right up in the teeth of goal. And the mark has been taken by West Adelaide. The boy who's going back is Aaron Filkey. I think you'd like it in his hands. It was Logan Hill, I think, who might have got the kick away there before that. But Filkey certainly knows where the goals are in all the games that he's played with West Adelaide. He has kicked 144 goals. This is his 152nd game, so almost a goal a game on average. And he comes. There's the kick. Oh, beautiful kick, that one. Straight through the middle, his first for the afternoon. And West Adelaide moving on to 6-3-39. Glenelg 4-4-28, and we've gone 8 minutes in the third quarter. Down here at Gliderroll Stadium at Brighton Road, Glenelg.
Yeah, it was a really clever mark there from Aaron Filkey. A little bit like the Middleton mark earlier. Just used his body well, used his experience and put the hands up and took the mark in the hands. Finished off nicely for a goal. And, of course, the Filkey name, famous in black and red colours. Aaron is the second cousin of Grantley and hails from the Loxton region up there in the Riverland.
We better say the specific club, Loxton North.
Loxton North.
There's a bit of rivalry up there, I suspect, when Loxton North play Loxton.
And I did read during the week, he actually started his junior footy at Barmera Monash, so he's had a connection with a couple of clubs up there. Back underway in the middle, and it is the Bloods going inside 50. Stevens kick it, bounces towards the goal line. Agnew beats his opponent, Watchman, to the ball. Defensive goal square, chips short and finds the teammate there in Joseph. So Aaron Joseph, 73 games of AFL with Carlton, back between 2009 and 2013. Under the time clock, the village time clock that says 9 minutes gone. Third term, the kick down the line. Well marked there by Josh Scott. The reigning best and fairest winner here at Gliderroll. The kick in board's a good one. Creates some space now for a teammate from the Tigers in Howard. He'll kick to this broadcast side. Bradley's in space as well. Chain of reaction now. The hand pass over the top came from the player in Haasma, but a dangerous hand pull. Put a teammate there under a lot of pressure in Curran. And Curran's down behind play with a heavy knock to the head. As I said earlier in the call, he's wore the helmet a couple of times this year. And Haasma, he would like his time again, I'd suspect. There was a poor hand pull. We're going to have a ball up at the paint of 50, and Curran is going to come off with the blood rule. He has been hit in the nose. I reckon he might have a broken nose for his troubles this afternoon, Doug. So a couple of blood rules we've seen now on this occasion.
Yeah, the previous one was
Wosley Black.
Wosley Black, of course, coming off for West Adelaide, but this time it's Chris Curran. Chris Curran's been a fairly handy player today too. A good player down in defence. He's a well-built sort of a lad. You know, athletic at the same time. He'd stand, I reckon, in the old language about, 6'2", 6'3". Yeah, very, very handy. 13
disposals on the afternoon. Back at the play, McGinty could have been pinged for holding the ball. Didn't really dispose of it correctly from the throw-in. The ball up rather, and we're going to have another ball up just outside the arc of 50. For Indigenous round, it's been painted in the Aboriginal colours, which is fantastic to see. Snook now with a handball, gets it out towards McGinty. He tries to push it forward to the advantage of Scott, but he's pounced upon immediately by his opposing 15 in Logan Hill. We're going nowhere. Inside attacking 50 for the Tigers. They trail by 11 points. 10.5 minutes gone, third term on the SANFL stream and digital pass. And you're with Doug Oakley.
There's the ball up to get play underway. Using his weight there was Webb, but it was still a tap out to McGinty. The ball is on the ground. Kerr was in there. He went to ground. Joseph is in there for Glenelg. And there's a couple of other players too just getting up off the bottom of that pack. It's handed back to the umpire. Jake Carger was one of them too, against his old club in Glenelg. Looks to be carving out a useful career with West Adelaide. Breaking into the senior team, when was that? A couple of weeks ago. Might have even been last week. As the umpire throws the ball aloft again, up they go. I think McGinty, you might say, got the tap out. A hand pass comes out here now to Stevens. I rather like the look of Stevens' game. Fights hard for the ball. His kick went high in the air and the mark has been taken here by a Boyle. So Boyle kicks the ball high in the air. Gets it across there to Scott. But marking deep in defence there is the West Adelaide player in Keogh. Keogh, what a wonderful player he used to have back playing in the SANFL Maccas League, Phil Aspinall.
Absolutely, Tom Keogh, as we said earlier, back in the system after some time with Gold Coast. The kick found Schiller. He's pounced upon immediately by his opponent there in McGinty, and behind play, Jay Boyle's copped a heavy knock to the rib region, I believe. He's still down on his haunches. In fact, it's a young Martini. So third man up, the Bloods attempted to go. Watchman there could have been blocked, but nothing doing. Good follow-up there from Watchman. Dives in over the footy, but Scott does well to soccer it inside, attacking 50. Needs to sit for McBean. Coming through Malera, and that's the Terry variety. Couldn't quite get a boot to ball. Back in the Howard direction. Gets on that preferred left. Coming back with the flight of the ball. Kerr fists it through for a rush behind. So the Tigers will move to 4-5-29. They're 10 points adrift of West Adelaide, who are 6-5-39. And we have travelled 12.5 minutes in this third term in the SANFL Maccas League here at Glyderol.
As the ball about to be brought back in, Shannon Green, big long kick out towards the half-back line. Great mark, real good mark taken there by the Glenelg player in Barry. Barry kicks the ball further field. Gone more toward the pocket. Terry Malera knocked out of the way. Another hand pass along. There's a free kick that's been played. Umpire says it is paid, or a free kick that was paid at least. Goes down toward the half-forward line to the West Adelaide team. Joseph gets the front position there ahead of Filkey. Kicks the ball in a bit of a hurry out there in the direction of his teammate in Bradley. Bradley, the most prolific possession winner on the ground. Glenelg running through the centre of the ground. Snook couldn't quite control it. It wasn't really his fault because it was a poor hand pass. Another hand pass that went over there. I think it might have been Fogarty. Got it on there to Joseph. His kick was a poor one too. Kane Stevens goes thump. At least it was a good kick, and I think it might be an effective one. Great mark. Great mark taken there. I've seen Nick Revolt take that sort of mark, you know, where you just keep your eyes on the ball and jump, and that's what he did. Not quite as spectacular as Nick, but it was still great stuff. 45 out from goal, Phil. Yeah,
Mason Middleton, the man you speak of, Doug. Great courage, not knowing what was coming ahead of him. Kept his eye on the ball the whole time, and no doubt we'll see that one on the highlights reel during the week.
Incidentally, the Saints down today. Western Bulldogs giving them a little bit of a hiding, which would probably please Christian Howard out here, being a former Western Bulldog boy. I wonder if he looked at the score at half-time. Probably did.
Possibly.
As in comes Mason Middleton. He'll kick from 49 metres. It's all. Oh, there's the mark taken right in the square, almost in the square anyway. It is a West Adelaide mark. The boy who's taken that mark, Phil, is
Brett Turner.
It is Brett Turner. I've seen him a couple of times this year, and I reckon he shows a little bit.
Yep.
He's been a bit quiet today, admittedly. And Brett Turner, that was a real good mark. The ball just didn't come off the boot of Middleton the way he would have liked. So Turner, and he comes, kicks the ball straight through the middle. West Adelaide move on to 7-3-45, leading Glenelg 4-5-29. And that is the second goal for the afternoon to Brett Turner, the only multiple goal kicker.
Yeah, he becomes the game's first multiple goal kicker and just gives the Bloods that nice little buffer yet again. Matty Loken just to our left, the coach of the Tigers. He's been quite vocal in his frustration this afternoon. We've heard a bit of colourful language, Doug, some thumping on the bench, and he'll be frustrated that his side's not playing the type of football that he wants them to play.
Well, they would have come in as the favourites, no doubt at all. And, OK, we had that shower, which worked to West's advantage because they already had about a 3-goal buffer when it came. But having said that, they haven't been able to get a free-flowing style of game going, have they? And it must be frustrating for the Tiger supporters. A little bit of a push and a shove there. Big watchman. There's a couple of almost jumper punches in there. There's the ball up. McGinty getting the tap out. Charging through there was McGinty once again with the hand pass. Gets it out there to Haasma. What can he do? He's going to get hold of the ball. Yes, he went with a hand pass. And Glenelg now with control of it across the half-back line. I think that was Curran. Was that Curran back on? Kicks the ball high in the air anyway. Goes back towards the centre wing. And Glenelg now taking the ball down forward. Phil, see if you can get a goal for them here.
So the Tigers now, they're in possession through Fogarty. The talented youngster gives it back to Boyle, but he's turned the footy over and it's taken there by Green. There's a fair bit happening off the footy. I was keeping an eye on a spot fire between Filkey and McGinty. And McGinty has now received a free kick, but plant advantage down the field. The Tigers go inside 50. Scott flies. Good spoil from Keogh. Great crumbing there from Terry Malira, but he was out of bounds when he kicked it. And we'll have a throw in. He was pushed into the boundary line fence as well. So a fair bit of feeling happening in this contest between the, as Phil Herden likes to call it, the battle of the sash. So West Adelaide, of course, with black and red. And they're wearing their away Guernsey today with the predominantly red with the black sash. And the Tigers, of course, in the black and gold. The ball's thrown back into play. The hit out came from McBean, but Carpenny takes it from the contest, gives it to the skipper in Schmidt. Off now to Filkey, the boy from Waikerie. Hand pass over the top there to Kane Stevens. And he was intercepted there by the player of the Tigers in Joseph and goes over the boundary line. So the West Adelaide side, 7-3-45, lead Glenelg, 4-5-29. 16-point advantage to the visitors who are yet to record a victory in season 2017, the Maccas League. SANFL level back at play. Good work from Seller, won the hit out, but a lot of numbers around the fall of the ball, and we'll have a stoppage. Some quick scores from around the ground, Doug. Nearing, well, halfway through the final term, the Magpies have kicked away from the Bulldogs. They're up by 19 points, and Adelaide are doing a job on the Roosters, rather. They're up by 49 points. And here at Glidero, another stoppage, Doug. We'll see if you can get us out of the contest. The ball's at centre wing out of side. The Bloods leading by 16.
As the umpire throws the ball up, coming through strong, it is Glenelg through Barry. He has been very good in this quarter. A little bit quiet in the first three. Gets it across to Nicholson. Nicholson now will drive Glenelg further forward. Up they go. His target down there was Scott. Why wouldn't you look for him? Oh, hello, hello, hello. I think that player then might have been a little bit of acting there, judging by the look of that, the way that players... It was Big James Seller, in fact, who went down, I think.
Yeah, and then Josh Scott and Agostino have had a bit to say to each other, and Josh Scott, as a result of that frustration, has made high contact with Jack Agostino and the boy from Renmark with a free kick in the right back pocket.
Yeah, there's a bit of frustration, isn't there? Probably from both teams as the ball comes out now towards the half-back line. No one able to take the mark. The ball is on the ground. Funny little hand pass that was given away there. Glenelg with control of it, but not a terribly good kick on that occasion. It was Martini who went further afield. Getting in there is Haasma. Were they into his back? No, the umpire says play on. And you can hear quite a bit of yelling going on.
Yeah, the vocal home Tigers fans getting a little bit frustrated, but well done by Martini. A poor kick, but I was impressed with his second effort to get to the contest and help his teammate out.
Yeah, good comment, Phil. As it's Stevens there who tried to get through for West Adelaide. Couldn't do so. The ball is smothered. Will be taken by Logan Hill, who's been impressive today. This time, though, the ball lands in the hands of Andrew Bradley, who's been super impressive. The Glenelg skipper takes the mark across the half-back line, almost in the back pocket.
Disposal number 20 now for Bradley as his kick clears defensive 50, flying at the back McBean. Good work at the front there by Boyle, last year's reserves best and fairest here at the Bay. But his disposal was deemed incorrect and it's a throw, so a free going the way of Schiller. And that's Schiller of West Adelaide. The kick inside 50, couldn't quite trap it, Carpenny. And unfortunately in doing so, it touched his boot. Well, the umpire deemed it not to be a intentional disposal, so I guess a little bit lucky there for Carpenny. The result, a boundary throw in. 55 out from the Bloods goal. They lead by 16 points. We're just about to tick into time on in the third term. At the action, a lot of numbers around the ball. McFarlane at the bottom of the pack, diving in over the top there for the Tigers. Haasma as well. Sawford in there, as well as Chris Schmidt. So the umpire's called for a stoppage. We'll have a throw up now. Watchman up against Big McGinty. McGinty with a beautiful hit out down there to the player in Boyle, who'll kick to left half forward. Ball spills out the back now in the McBean direction. He's got a player forward of the ball in Vic Kunis. A dribbling pass inside 50. Sits for Ziggy. Throws it on the left boot. It's a high up under kick. It's going to fall advantageous for Fogarty. He was taken high. The umpire's intent showed the mark rather in the signal, the hands up, showing a mark for Fogarty. And good play from the Tigers, Doug. And fair to say, they're desperately needing a goal at the moment. They should be able to get one through the young man in Darcy Fogarty. Yeah,
kept his eyes on the ball, which was the good thing to do. And the West Adelaide defender coming in obviously had to make a real contest of it. He knew he was going to be late on the scene. Good umpiring. It was just good stuff all round. And young Fogarty, let's see what he can do. He's looked pretty promising today, Phil.
Yeah, the young man from Lucendale. A lot of excitement about him. Represented the AIS over in America last year. Played for South Australia's under-18s team. Left forward pocket. He'll kick from about 20 metres out. Reasonably tight angle, but he's on the right side for a right footer. The kick off the boot has pushed it across the face. Through for a minor score. So the Tigers, wasteful in front of goal. They're 4-6-30. They're 15 points adrift of West Adelaide. 7-3-45. 21 and a half minutes gone, third term. And it's now with the Bloods through the player in care, who kicks out to this broadcast side. It's taken there by the player in Turner. He taps it to his own advantage, but he overran the footy in the end. Good work, Nicholson keeps it in play. And the ball spills over the boundary line in front of the interchange gates. We'll have a throw in. It is the Bloods leading by 15 points, 22 gone, third term.
Yeah, a lot of niggling coming into the game. I think these conditions too, where there's a lot of packs that are forming and so forth, and neither side able to get that free flowing game of football going. But there's the throw in to get it underway. Once again, McGinnity did it very well down towards half forward. It was a good it was an effective kick there by the Glenelg player in Boyle. He's getting a few touches too. Comes out now towards the centre wing, and a good mark has been taken here by young Martini in opposition to Zach Bates. Goes with a hand pass on now to Joseph. Joseph goes across the ground, and the mark has been taken here by Howard. Howard now onto that familiar left foot of his. He'll find Sawford. This is Sawford now going further down the ground. Nice kick too. Good passage of football, good clean passage of football, and McBean it is who takes the sliding mark out there, roughly at backward square leg if you were playing cricket. But this time it's on the half-forward flank for Glenelg. Kicks the ball very, very high in the air, comes off hands, and there will be another ball up. So it's about 30 metres out from the Glenelg goal. The lights are on once again, Phil. The margin is 15 points in favour of West Adelaide.
So the ball now will be thrown up in that cricket wicket pocket, the training area here at Gliderol. Northeastern pocket, player there in care, could have been taken high. Ball ricochets out towards the boundary line. No clear possession, so it will be a throw-in. Alongside the point post, about 5 metres to the right of the point post here at Gliderol. The home side trailing by 15 points. Phil Aspinall and Doug Oakley, your commentary team this afternoon. Bringing you all the action on SANFL Radio on the digital pass. Beautiful hit out from McGinty down to Barry, but he was bumped off the footy. Spills in the direction there of Josh Stevens. He was disposed of when he got rid of the footy. Nothing doing. The kick around the body from Harsmar into the dangerous position. Webb couldn't quite take it, going back with the flight. Good work in there from the Tigers. Put some pressure on. McFarlane holds the ball in. Hard up against the forward line pocket. The ball's going nowhere. That right forward pocket down here at the northern end, or the Kernahan end of Gliderol. Look out for the Malira boys. A third man up attempt there from the Tigers, but a free kick's been found, and it is going to go the way of Glenelg, I reckon. A push off the ball, it's going to be Big McGinty. So the Bloods, Doug Oakley, giving away a silly free kick in a very dangerous area. And the former basketballer junior, the man from the Mount Gambier region, lining up for an important goal for the Tigers.
Well, they certainly need this one. They're in arrears by 15 points. We're approaching three-quarter time. 24 minutes of the quarter gone. The big game down here at Gliderol Stadium.
So Warwick McGinty needs to kick this one to keep the Tigers in check. 15 metres out. Has kicked it. McGinty's first is Glenelg's fifth. They move to 5-6-36. West Adelaide 7-3-45. 9-point ball game. 25 gone in this third term. And really sloppy from the West Adelaide ruckman there to give away the free kick in such a dangerous area, Doug Oakley.
It certainly was. It was only his second kick for the afternoon. He's had 11 hand passes and numerous hit-outs, of course. But it was so close to goal. But I guess these sorts of things when you're playing so desperately. So the margin is back now to 9 points, still in favour of West Adelaide. Glenelg will come home with the scoring end, although I think really that's been somewhat negated since we've had the rain. So It's going to be a ball up to get play underway once again. Have you got the hit-outs there on your chart, Phil, between, I'm interested, Webb and McGinty, just how you would compare the two big ruckmen?
Yeah, McGinty with 30 and Daniel Webb with 15.
Yeah, I think that's a fair indication.
Oh.
Webb has been okay. As Stevens has a shot for goal, a long shot there for West Adelaide. There was a Glenelg boy that went down. It's gone through for a minor score. It's Agnew who's down on his haunches. Not right down, he's just getting up to his feet now, which is good. But West Adelaide on to 7-4-46, leading Glenelg 5-6-36. And it will be a mark that has been taken by a West Adelaide right in front of goal. I'm not sure that we have to, well, we're hearing all sorts of things coming from beside us.
Yeah, for those listening on the SANFL stream on the radio, Don Barry just took the kick out for the Tigers, missed his target completely, and now has turned the footy over the Tigers, and lining up for goal, Doug, is Jacob Karga against his former club. Chance
now for his second goal for the afternoon, and I think he's missed with that one though.
A let off.
And through for a minor score. So it is West Adelaide 7-5-47, leading Glenelg 5-6-36. It is the big game down here at Glenelg Stadium, and it has been a somewhat frustrating game for some people, and I think mainly some of the Glenelg people, Phil.
And on this occasion, Don Barry not getting the kick-out duties, and Christian Howard goes long and strong down the middle. Boyle takes it from the spoil, gives a hand pass over the top to Scott. His handball, though, was poor, and it was intercepted there by Kerr. Backwards now to the veteran in green. Played his first season at SANFL level under Wayne Wiedemann. He was coaching the Bloods way back in 2007. The kick from green was marked in the field of play, yes. So Josh Stevens now, left half forward on the outer side. The left boot will kick inside 50. It's a well-weighted kick, and big player there in Middleton takes the mark unopposed. Left forward pocket as you hear the siren sound. That third term going 27 minutes and 20 seconds. Glenelg coach Matty Loken just walking down the steps in front of us, shaking his head in frustration. So Middleton will line up after the siren for a shot on goal. Glenelg will stay at 5-6-36. Middleton, he's kicked one goal on the afternoon in the first term, left forward pocket.
I know everyone has their own approach to things, but I just wonder whether Matt doing himself a favour, charging down like that, whether in fact it may be better just to stand back a bit, recollect his thoughts.
So Middleton's kick, is it going to register a score? It's touched on the line, through for a minor score. So the Bloods will end the three-quarter time break at 7-6-48. Glenelg 5-6-36. So that advantage in favour of the visitors by 12 points. The goal kickers in this contest: Brett Turner with 2, singles to Aaron Filkey, Mason Middleton, Aaron Wasley-Black, Jacob Karga and Zach Bates, while all individuals for the Tigers: Terry Malera, Josh Scott, Ian Malera, Warwick McGinty and Carl Nicholson. Repeating those three-quarter time scores, it is West Adelaide 7-6-48, leading Glenelg 5-6-36. A 2-goal advantage to the visitors, and Doug Oakley, a lot of work to do for Glenelg if they're going to get in this contest and get the victory, because West Adelaide... And welcome back here to Glenelg Stadium, round 7, SANFL Maccas League action. And it's the visiting West Adelaide, 7-6-48. They're 12 points in front of Glenelg, 5-6-36. Phil Aspinall and Doug Oakley here, bringing you all the action on the digital pass and SANFL radio. And the Bloods have led all day. They led by 12 points at quarter time, 11 at the half. They now hold a 2-goal margin against Glenelg. We've had a pretty fired up coach, Matty Loken, address them at three-quarter time. We're not far away from this final term getting underway. We'll bring you all the final quarter action here. Can the Tigers pinch the win? I'm saying off air, West Adelaide probably the better side today, but there's still a quarter to go. To bring us all the action in this final quarter, your first caller is Doug Oakley.
Umpire with the ball, holds it aloft. Players get ready. It will be McGinty and Webb. McGinty probably, you would say, was favoured there. A hand pass from Schmidt was good. Football comes back now to Webb. A hand pass from Batley, and we find that it will be West Adelaide going forward. Coming out, though, was Joseph. Put the fist to the ball, but coming through strongly there was Green. Green's kick in towards centre half forward. It eludes just about everybody until now. A hand pass from Bradley. Got it across there to Howard. This is good football by Glenelg as they go forward. Down towards the half forward line. A mark there to Zit Kunis, I thought almost, off the second grab. The kick going forward, and McBean it is who has taken the mark, and that might bring a smile or two from the coaching box at Glenelg. To Matty Loken's credit, you know, we're a little bit critical, I was anyway, just the way he charged down at three-quarter time, but it seemed to address the players in a far more measured way when he was down there, and probably just in that little run down he might have been able to burn off a little bit of the energy.
Yeah, I think he also took his frustration out on the door to the coach's box here as well, Doug. But important start for the Tigers. McBean needs to go back and kick this one as he had a quiet day, but he could get his side to within a goal. Eddie
comes now. Liam McBean, recruited from the Richmond Football Club. There's the kick for goal. Lovely kick, straight through the middle. That is his first goal for the afternoon. He's kicked... I better put the glasses on. 14 goals so far this year, and 14 goals in his games here with the Glenelg Football Club. Of course, playing for Richmond, and interesting, he's a St Bede's secondary school scholar. Now that's a school that, here's an interesting one for a quiz night. I've given the answer. But 3 players have come from that club, from that school at least, in Simon and Justin Madden, and also Gary Folds, all former Essendon champions. The only school that's produced 3 300-plus AFL players. There we go.
The stat of the day goes to Doug Oakley.
And he was captain of the sports team there, Liam McBean, you know, in another generation.
He also knows where the goals are. He's a Frosty Miller medal winner, which is the leading goal kicker in the VFL. Won that in 2015, the year in which he played his AFL. Back at the action. Webb won this hit out. Stevens got the ball out of the contest, but it's only as far now as Nicholson of Glenelg. He'll kick around the body. Ball bounces up there for care. Tapped it to the advantage of a teammate, Wasley Black. He's wrapped up in a tackle, though, by Sawford. Going nowhere. The boy from Alice Springs, Aaron Wasley Black. We'll have a ball up. Left half forward there for the Tigers. They've kicked the opening goal of this final quarter. Got to within 6 points. The hand pass came from the big man in McGinty. Off there to McFarlane. The kick inside 50. Bean just needs it to City. Grabs it now. Takes on his opponent. Hamble over the top to Terry Maliri. Can run and kick here. Goal! Malira gets his second. His lock scores away here at Gliderol. The Tigers, they've got the first 2 goals of the final term. 7-6-48 Glenelg. West Adelaide 7-6-48 as well. 3 minutes gone final term. Exciting footy from the Tigers, and Coach Matty Loken will be saying, where was this for the first 3 quarters, Doug?
And there's something else that's rather happy that was a goal. That was the door of the coach's box.
Yes,
Phil.
Indeed.
No, it was exciting stuff. You know, Big McGinty has been a good player all day today. He's received good opposition too from Daniel Webb, but McGinty has been terrific. McGinty again probably got the tap out, although not real decisive, but this time it will be Westies going forward, and the mark has been taken. The mark has been taken by the player there at centre half forward. I'll just get the glasses on him. And, of course, it's number 19 in Turner. So Turner has kicked 2 goals so far. He, along with Terry Malira, the only multiple goal kickers here this afternoon. And he'll kick from about 48 metres. You'd back him from here, I reckon, Phil. There's the kick for goal. It's a nice kick. Somebody's shaken the goalpost down there. It puts West Adelaide in front by the narrowest of margins. 7-7 to Westies. Glenelg 7-6. And we have played 4 minutes in this, the final quarter. The action coming to you live from Gliderol Stadium on Brighton Road down here at Glenelg.
So the kick out now will be by the Tigers in Howard. He's gone short to himself, then long down the middle as he normally does. Mark paid there to Seller. Good pair of hands from the veteran.
Have you rated his game, Phil?
Yeah, I said earlier in the call he's played at half forward as well, but been okay, serviceable. The kick wasn't great, but a quality mark there from Nicholson. He's too far out to score. Swings onto the right boot, 60 from goal. Inside 50, looking for McBean. Drifted across the front of the pack there. Too much space from his opponent in Keogh. And underneath the scoreboard that shows West Adelaide leading by a point, big Liam McBean, Doug, now getting himself into the contest in the final term. Yeah,
it was a real good mark. It was a good, clean mark. And the way he just drifted across, I mean, he's not the shortest player out there on the ground. He's close to the tallest, in fact. Liam McBean at 202 centimetres. I don't think anybody else gets close to that. And that was terrific stuff. It just showed his agility, but it's a beautiful kick of the ball too, Phil.
He should kick this one from about 20 out on the slightest of angles. Very deliberate in his approach. He gives the salute to the crowd. That's a goal to the Tigers, and they're back in front. McBean's second, Glenelg's 8th. 8-6-54 Glenelg. West Adelaide 7-7-49. 5.5 gone final term, and the game's really opening up now in this final term, Doug.
Certainly opening up, yeah. I mean, I wasn't expecting this to come, but sometimes this happens when, you know, the more favoured team just gets that little bit of a run on, and perhaps we've been waiting all day for this to happen with Glenelg. They're sitting in 5th position on the ladder, desperately keen to win this game, to maintain that position. Westies, of course, desperately keen to win and break through for their first win for the season, so there's a lot hanging over this game as big Daniel Webber gets the left-handed tap out there in the direction of Jake Carger. Umpire comes in and says it will be another ball up to get play underway once again. There's the ball up. Up they go. McGinty went to the ground, coming. Oh, player might have got one high there. The West Adelaide player going in strongly there. Was that Turner? It wasn't Turner.
Wasley Black.
Wasley Black, of course. I should have picked him out because he's got the head bandage. Got a little knock to the back of the head. It brought some blood a little bit earlier on. Hasn't affected his game, though. He's been out there playing. So see if you can get this one away from this clearance, Phil.
So big McGinty won the hit out, but a lot of numbers of the footy. Well done, McFarlane extricated himself from the contest. The kick inside 50 out the back for Scott. Can it bounce favourably? Can he get a boot on it? Yes, he can! The Tigers with 3 in a row. Josh Scott gets his second. Glenelg with all the momentum. 9-6-60 the Tigers. West Adelaide 7-7-49, 6.5 minutes gone final term. And what excitement footy from the Tigers, Doug.
Oh, goodness me, it's like two different teams that have been out there. Not that the boys haven't been trying, but nothing has really happened. They've made mistakes, there's been turnovers, all that sort of stuff. Today we've just seen, I guess the key is getting the ball out of the centre, and they've done it brilliantly in this final quarter.
Yeah, McGinty the key again, yet getting his hands on the footy yet again.
There's McGinty again, probably getting his hands on it there. Daniel Webb coming in and applying the tackle. Went a little bit high with that one, and so the free kick has been paid here to Barry. Barry now, the excitement machine after playing at Melbourne. That's a lovely kick. He's only kicked it about 25 metres, and he has found the player in Seller. Seller kicks the ball high, and there up they go. The target was McBean. Why wouldn't you look for him? But a good mark's been taken here by Mason Middleton.
I reckon Mark Mickens put him behind the footy. Doug, he has been known to go behind the ball when the floodgates are opening on the opposition.
Yeah, I think they had to do something. It's a shame because he was playing well at centre half forward, but you've got to stop the not much stopping the bleeding after it's after it's gone too far in towards half forward. It's Glenelg that is in attack at the moment. 45 metres out from their goal, players going in hard, packet players forming, and there will be another ball up. 11 points the margin in favour of Glenelg, and we've gone 8 minutes in the final quarter.
So the umpire throws the footy aloft. McGinty again with a hit out. A lot of numbers again around the fall of the ball. Carpeney in there for the Bloods, but well done. Harsma extracts it from the contest, and there's the player in Middleton. He's playing that loose behind. He's taking the mark 20 from defensive goal. We'll come to this broadcast side and he'll spot up Wasley Black. So Aaron Wasley Black off the left boot. It's a nice weighted kick looking for Bates. Couldn't take it. He's outnumbered 2-on-1. Does brilliantly well to keep it in play, but he needs to get it out of the contest now. Good work in there from Carger to lend support. A lot of numbers around the footy. Player in Curran dove on it. Umpire gave him the benefit of the doubt. He's outnumbered 2-on-1. And the whistle was blown for a ball up. Right in front of the interchange gates, we see McFarlane come on for Snook. Up goes the footy, again a hit out to McGinty. His follow-up effort was good. On hands and knees, the player there in Carpeney. The whistle's blown. It's going to be a free kick for a high tackle to the aforementioned Carpeney. So he'll take the free kick now. Off that left boot, he'll look to go towards the arc of 50. It's a nice looking kick. He'll bang it inside 50. Down there, Burgess. Also the player for the Bloods in Palmer. In fact, rather Jesse Watchman. He's getting Jesse Palmer, I think a former Carlton player, confused out there, but it's gone out of bounds. Last possession rule. And speaking of former Carlton players, good segue there. He's going to be the player in Aaron Joseph with the free for the Tigers. He'll go to the defensive goal square. He's got Curran, he handballs over the top, and it's now with Brad Agnew, and the Tigers clear defensive 50.
The red-headed Agnew out towards the half-back line, and it is another mark here to Glenelg. Am I looking at Nicholson out there?
You are.
I am. I'm looking at number 45 as he kicks the ball down towards the centre wing. Up they go. The ball comes off hands. Young Fogarty, 17 years of age. He is most impressive. and he'll get better and better. Probably won't see a lot of him at SANFL level after this year. It's out of bounds though, a throw-in, one of the few throw-ins because of the rule here in SANFL footy, a rule that I quite like actually, as the boundary throw-in sees the big blokes doing battle. Knocked on there by Webb, but it's taken here by the Bays. What can they make out of this? Dom Barry was in there doing battle, but the umpire says it's going to be mine once again. Barry applying the tackle there, which was good stuff. Getting up off the ground there too was young Carpety for West Adelaide. There's the throw up to get play underway. There's the tap on by big James Seller. Hand pass comes out here now to Barry. Barry there. There's some of that skill. One bounce, two bounces. Beautiful pass, and finds Terry Malira at centre half forward as the conditions get darker down here at Glenelg Stadium, and probably a whole lot darker for West Adelaide too, Phil.
Yeah, and fitting an Indigenous round, that was a couple of the Indigenous boys that combined. Dom Barry, as you said, that excitement running and carrying the footy on the half-forward flank. Kicks it inside 50 to spot up Terry Miller. He's kicked 2-2 on the day. It almost suggests if he goes back and slots this one, it'll be very difficult for the Bloods from here.
In comes Malera, usually a very good kick for goal. He's a lovely kicking action. There's the kick. This time, though, just goes away, misses to the near side and through for a minor score. I've got him down for 2 goals, 3 today. He's been dangerous. Glenelg gone to 9-7-61, leading West Adelaide 7-7-49, 2 straight goals in it.
So Wesley Black takes the kick out for the Bloods. He'll go to that outer side. Good work from Watchman. Brought the ball to ground. Middleton crumbs it. Gives a hand pass off there to Batley. His pass was partially smothered. Daniel Webb could have got a free for in the back. Umpire Burke disagrees. Applying the tackle there in Martini. Have a ball up there just backward of centre wing, favouring the Tigers. They've got all the momentum. They've kicked the last 4 goals. Ball's now at half forward. Sawford just dispossessed in the tackle. Carpeny in there putting some pressure on. We've got full time down at Alberton Oval, Doug, and the Bulldogs have had yet another loss. Port Adelaide 17-16-118 defeated the Dogs 12-7-79. The Roy Laird coach Bulldogs sitting 1-6. Back here at Glider Roll. Nicholson again with a kick inside 50. Well trapped by Scott. The hand pass just missed young Ian Malira. Back in the direction there of Kerr, but the ball is going to come back to the player in Agostino for a free kick. He was slung off the footy after he disposed of it. So Agostino, 40 out from defensive goal, chips sideways, and spots up Batley. One of reserves best and fairest at the Eagles, where he played 50 league games. He's kicked looking for Watchman. Ball spills out the back of the contest. Agnew will be happy to see it over the boundary line. Last possession free kick going the way of the Tigers. It's the boy from Mount Burr in Brad Agnew.
Eddie comes now, kicks the ball back now towards the centre, well, back towards the wing, and it's a mark that's been taken here was that Seller. Seller kicks the ball very high, and there up they go. McBean was the target, but chipping in. It's the West Adelaide defender there in Tom Keogh. Mason Middleton at least. Middleton's been a good player today. Feeds off the hand pass. West Adelaide back now in the direction of Webb. Webb went with a hand pass, not a real effective one. And so Glenelg have control of the ball. In towards centre half forward they go. You can hear the yell, but there's a mark that's been taken by Middleton across the half back line. Or Keogh. Keogh and Middleton. Similar builds actually. And both playing down in defence. There was the kick. Kerr was put under enormous pressure because it was a poor kick, but he applied a beautiful tackle there on Scott. And Daniel Kerr races through the centre of the ground, driving West Adelaide further into attack.
Looking down there for Watchman, up against Agnew. He's had the better of that battle. Hand pass there, just missed the target in the skipper in Bradley, followed up by Green. He'll kick around the body inside 50. Carpeny couldn't take it. Good crumbing again, though. The follow-up effort was good. Hard up against the line, tackled by Agnew, gives it back inboard to Schiller. He'll pop it to the hot spot. Down there, Rankin couldn't take it. Stevens crumbs it well, snaps around the body, dribbles it through for a goal. So West Adelaide's hopes alive still. Kane Stevens with a quality crumbing goal. And the Bloods get their 8th. 8 goals, 7-55. Glenelg 9-7-61. And a good goal to Kane Stevens, Doug, as I said, keeps the Bloods in it. And his first for the man from Queanbeyan.
Yeah, certainly when you're looking at McGarry votes later, you know, for the umpires to sit down, they'll probably look at Kane Stevens being in the top 3. That's his 24th possession for the afternoon.
Yep.
He's just one of those players who not just accumulates possessions, but they're quite often quality possessions, but he's been a real find.
He has. 15 minutes gone final term, 1 goal deficit the margin, and Looking at the stats provided by Phil Hurd, and the last time these two sides drew was 1990, round 7, here at this very venue, Doug.
Was that the game that I mentioned earlier when we had 16 goals, 22 to 19 goals,
correct,
something or other?
19-4.
19-4, incredible. This time it is Glenelg going forward, though, down towards the half-forward line. The ball comes off hands. Dom Barry was the target, and if that name sounds familiar to you, yes, he did play for Melbourne. Dom Barry. And then, of course, he went back up into play in the APY lands, played 5 games at Melbourne, but actually played 2 games with the Australian international team against the Irish.
Before he played AFL, which was an amazing stat in itself.
It was. He's got super talents today. Hasn't been perhaps his best game, but since half-time he's certainly come into the game far more. The ball now back towards the centre wing. Oh, what a game we've got here. 6 points the margin in favour of Glenelg. Westies going forward once again.
Great spoil from Agnew at the back. He's been one of the best defenders in the comp this year. The ball goes over the boundary line. Escorted there by Andrew Bradley, who himself one of the better players on the ground, up to disposal 23. 3 clearances, 5 rebound 50. So the skipper leading from the front. So the ball will be thrown back in. 60 out from the Bloods goal. With a little bit of momentum the last 5 minutes. The kick inside 50 from Watchman. First there, Nicholson tries to tap it to the advantage of Martini, but it's going to be for Curran. He just gets a hand pass over the top there to Harsman, the former Port Magpie. High up and under kick, looking for Scott. Couldn't take it 1-2. Yes, he can. Quality mark there from Josh Scott. Plays on now with a hand pass. Releases Nicholson. Steps in board. Takes a bounce. Needs to use the footy. Gives it back in board to the best and fairest from last year. Scotty attempts the torpedo. But it's a forward tumbling punt inside 50. Middleton back there with some composure now. Chips short and releases a teammate now in green, and it's the Bloods from half-back through Shannon Green.
Shannon Green, the veteran defender, down towards the half-forward line. Let's see what can come out of this one. It's almost inside 50 for West Adelaide. It's only about a metre away from that line, and the umpire says it's going to be mine. It will be a ball up. 6 points the margin, 17 minutes into the final quarter. Anybody's game down here at Brighton Road. Gliderroll Stadium. Umpire puts the ball high in the air. Taken here by McGinty, and Glenelg are up to it once again, bringing the ball away from that pack. It's taken by McBean, who's played a much better second half in this game, kicked a couple of goals, gets it out now to Howard, who's a lovely user of the ball. That is a beautiful kick, and there will be a mark. Would have been a free anyway. And so Malera, is there a 25-metre penalty? No, there's not. But it's Terry Malera who has got that kick right in front of goal, about 15 metres out. He'll kick from about 20, and you wouldn't expect him to miss from here. He's kicked 2 goals for the afternoon so far, Phil, and he's usually a beautiful kick of the ball. Yeah,
the young man from Sejuni, you called it well. Christian Howard with a beautiful pass inside 50, really set up Malera for this shot on goal.
2 players with AFL experience, and it certainly showed there, just the way they just handled the ball. Malera, and he comes. There's the kick. Just got a lovely style. There's his 3rd goal for the afternoon. I won't say that's the sealer, but at the 18-minute mark of the final quarter, it's going to be hard for Westies to come back from that. Glenelg move on to 10 goals, 7, 67. They lead West Adelaide by 12 points. 8 goals, 7, 55.
Yeah, as you said, could be the sealer. Just a minute and a half from time on, an important goal for the Tigers. And Terry Malera played 30 games at SANFL level with the Magpies before heading over to the AFL to play 30 games with Doug Oakley's favourite team, the Saints. He came back to Adelaide for health reasons for his wife. Could still be in the AFL system for mine. Back in the middle. Really no ruckman with a clear, decisive hit out. Kane Stevens takes it from the contest, but he's wrapped up immediately. Very dark here at Gliderroll. We had the 2:40 start, so we're nearing 5 o'clock Adelaide time. The lights have been on since quarter time. 3rd man up for the Tigers. Fists the ball towards defensive 50. Good tackle, Logan Hill and Martini. Back in the direction there for the Tigers of Carpenny, for the Bloods rather. He's over the footy. Also Karga in there as well for Glenelg, going nowhere. The umpire says my ball. Deft little tap on in there as well from Turner, was clever. So inside attacking 50. The Bloods would love a quick goal here. Glenelg though, they've taken possession. Umpire Corey Bowen says my footy. Ben Sawford going nowhere. We're just about to tick into time on, 30 seconds away. It's the Tigers now. They're leading by 8 points. The ball towards the West Adelaide goal line. Glenelg's defence standing up. Agnew gives it off to Howard. Here's the voice there of Curran. Back in ball with a hand pass to Sawford. He handballs over the top now, puts a teammate Snook under some pressure. Well done though, the handball to the player there in Martini with some composure from the young man. He switches it to Nicholson, and at centre half back, Cole Nicholson with the ball for the Bays.
Nicholson now just slowing things down a bit, looking for his options as players charge down the field. He's going to go long, probably the best thing to do. At least it's out of that attacking zone there for West Adelaide. Keogh applying the tackle there. The ball is on the ground. Schmidt was the target, and Schmidt is tackled right on the centre wing on the outer side of the ground. Spectators hanging on right till the finish in this game because it's still anybody's game. 12 points the margin. We've played 20 and a half minutes in the final quarter, so you'd expect another, 6 or 7 minutes at the most. The ball's taken by Sawford for Glenelg. He went with a hand pass to McFarlane. Glenelg now with control of the ball. It's a high kick, very, very high in the air. Up they go, and a good mark's been taken by Keogh.
Not paid.
Must have come off hands, must have been touched, and the umpire says it is mine.
I think at least 6 minutes of time on, Doug, because we have had 5 goals kicked from the Tigers, 1 from the Bloods. So, yeah, I think we've still probably got another 5 minutes or so of play. Back at the action. Watchman didn't quite win the hit out. Ball spills out in the direction there of Carpeney, but taken by Harsma. He's bumped off the footy. Kane Stevens now steals it for the Bloods. Kicks to right half forward. Race for pace. Good work there from Agnew just to let the footy go over the boundary line. Big Middleton's looks like he's shifted back down into the forward line. So free kick to Brad Agnew. And the 2013 reserves, best and fairest out here at the Bay. The long kick with the breeze coming over the top there. McGinty fists the ball towards the boundary line. And it goes over. So 10-7-67, the Tigers. West Adelaide, they're 8-7-55. 21 and a half gone in this final quarter. 2017 SANFL Maccas League. On the digital pass and SANFL Radio, Phil Aspinall and Doug Oakley, your commentary crew. So the ball centering out aside, a very dark glider roll stadium. The ball thrown back in. McGinty with yet another hit out. Schiller with a hand pass for the Bloods. Releases Carpeney, steps back inboard onto the left boot. Kick partially smothered, taken there from Karga. He's wrapped up immediately by his former teammate in Snook. And the umpire deemed to have no opportunity. He's going to ball the footy up. So centre wing out aside. It's a 12-point advantage to the home side. They lead by 2 goals. 22 minutes gone, final term. Watchman with the hit out, but it's only as far as McFarlane. Releases Howard. Handballs to the voice there of Harsma. Back now to the excitement machine. Barry puts the afterburners on off the left boot. He'll kick it inside 50. Looking for Scott. Can he take the mark? Diving over the top, Wosley Black. Has he given away a free kick? No, so it's a last possession free going the way of the Bloods. It'll be Aaron Wosley Black underneath the scoreboard. Doug Oakley with the ball for the Bloods.
The scoreboard's all lit up. And again, we applaud the efforts of not just the guy on the scoreboard, but those selling budgets and doing all the things around the ground today in fairly trying conditions as the game has gone on, because it's got a little bit cooler. And of course, we've had the rain that came in the second quarter. Boundary umpire now with the ball to throw it in on the true centre wing position. Westies, can they mount yet another challenge, or will the Bays hold on? They hold that 2-goal, that 12-point advantage at the moment. Boundary umpire throws it in. Getting up in front of the pack there was the player in Schmidt. Got it across to Josh Stevens, who knocks the ball on that little bit further. Sawford was in there. And there's a tackle that's been applied this time, and the umpire says it's mine. Jay Boyle it was applying that tackle. There's the ball up to get play underway once again. A lot of players there surrounding the ball. Nicholson didn't quite get the bounce he was looking for. The umpire has paid the free kick. It will go the way of West Adelaide, and it's on the outer side of the ground, and Westies now to take control of it through Keogh.
So Keogh kicks inside, attacking 50. Down there, Stevens takes the mark unopposed. So Kane Stevens, time against him. 24 minutes gone, final term. Needs to hurry back to his mark.
I bet he's thinking to himself, what would Charlie Dixon do?
Not look at the clock. So Kane Stevens now, he's kicked 1 goal in this final term already. 46 goals in his 60 games. The kick on the way. The breeze working it back. It's a goal to the Bloods. Stevens' second is West Adelaide's 9th. They're 9-7-62. 61 rather. The West Glenelg side 10-7-67. A one-goal ball game, and Doug Oakley, maybe 2 minutes of play left. That draw comes back into the equation.
That draw does. They've had 2 draws in their history, of course. Well, there's a lot of people, as you can imagine, the home side, the Tigers. You can hear the cry of the Tiger being yelled out from the grandstand. We're sitting at the back of the only grandstand that's being used now. Not sure what the future of the one on the northern side is going to be. I think the roof got blown off in one of our stalks. Was that last summer? And so it's out of action today. There would have been a lot of people up there when the rain came, but the umpire now to get ploughed away. 6 points the margin in favour of Glenelg. All the action down here at Glenelg Stadium. A smothered kick, a chance now for Kerr. The veteran Kerr has the ball. He goes with a hand pass across to Logan Hill. A couple of the veterans there for West Adelaide. They look further ahead and the ball's knocked across the boundary line. And it will be... No, it'll be a free kick to Glenelg. Last possession rule there. It wasn't knocked over. It may have been over when it was touched or punched over. And so Glenelg relieving that promising attack from Westies.
So the player in Curran will take the kick for the Tigers. Down the line looking for Scott. Aaron Mosley-Black went to ground behind play. And the ball's ricocheted over the boundary line. So 25.5 minutes gone, the home side. They trailed by 12 points at three-quarter time. They've kicked 5 goals to 2 in this final term. They lead by 1 goal. Ball thrown in, McGinty with another hit out. Down as far as Scott off the left boot. The kick partially smothered. Now in the hands of Wosley-Black. The Bloods with some run now. Back in the 1-2 from Kerr. Wosley-Black spiral kick towards the goal line. The Tigers with some numbers back. Mark there from Curran, but a whistle, a free downfield. It's going to be a West Adelaide free kick rather. Didn't quite see what happened back at the play, but it's a resulting free kick to the Bloods. Doug Oakley. Mason Middleton can line up for goal. If he kicks truly, scores are locked away.
Mason Middleton's had a wonderful game. He's taken 11 marks and has played well at both ends of the ground. I just noticed Luke Norman, one of the assistant coaches for Glenelg, just put his head down as if to say, oh, this can't be happening, can it?
So Middleton's kicked 1 goal in the first term. Played some footy behind the play in the second half. Kicks on goal, he's missed. Mason Middleton's missed. So we're behind there to the Bloods. They're 9-8-62. Could prove costly in the outcome of this game. Glenelg 10-7-67, 26 and three-quarter minutes gone. Glenelg with the kick out, and Doug Oakley, it'll be the player in Howard for the Tigers.
Well, you'd like the ball in his hands because he's a lovely kick of the ball, and that is a beauty. The ball is thumped out of the pack. A chance now by Kane Stevens. He has the shot for goal, and it is touched right on the line by the player. Was that Howard? It was Howard. Yep. Oh, I tell you what. The old heart is sort of beating a little more quickly. Incredible stuff. So the margin is back to 4 points. Glenelg still in front, and we're almost at full time. 27.5 minutes gone in the final quarter.
So Howard goes long to that outer side. The Tigers need a mark. Ball at ground level. Coming through the player in Seller. Jams it on the boot. It's out to centre wing, but the Bloods have some numbers. The ball needs to sit there for Logan Hill. Went over the boundary line, so that could prove pivotal for the Tigers. In fact, no, their boundary umpire said last possession free, so this falls into the hands of the Bloods. 28 minutes gone, final term. The kick holds up in the breeze. Logan Hill to half forward. Wosley-Black flies. Can't take the mark. Ball at ground level. The Tigers holding on by 4 points. We're nearing full time. The ball's in the attacking area for the Bloods.
Reckon there'll be 30 seconds to go, Phil. We don't know. We're just guessing.
So 28 minutes gone in this final term. Can the Tigers hold on? It'll be a memorable win if they can. The ball at half forward. Umpire comes in. Another stoppage.
This is when you think of all those Richmond scenarios, wearing the same colours, of course, at Glenelg. The Glenelg coach, Matty Locken, just down here. He's played in an AFL Grand Final with Collingwood, of course. He knows a little bit about pressure.
Siren imminent here at Glenelg. There it is! The Tigers hang on for a thriller. West Adelaide will be disappointed, but well done to the Glenelg Football Club. They run out victors. 10-7-67. 4-point win over West Adelaide. 9-9-63. Thrilling finish here at Glenelg, and Doug Oakley, what a great contest. Glenelg, they hung on for the win.
That's the thing. It was a great contest, and, you know, it was a game that, given the conditions, it probably didn't reach any great heights, but we saw flashes of brilliance, and we saw certainly plenty of desperation. And I tell you what, who'd want to be a coach, you know, in those dying seconds? And Christian Howard was probably the saviour there for the Glenelg Football Club, and you'd probably love to have a player like him in that last line of defence. Not only his kicking, but a couple of desperate lunges too. But no, just a terrific game of football. Well done, Glenelg, but well done to West Adelaide for a great contest. 4 points the margin. The Bays have taken the honours down here at Glenelg Stadium.
The goal kickers in the game: Terry Malira with 3 for the Tigers, Josh Scott with 2, Liam McBean with 2, both in the final term. Then singles apiece to Ian Malira, Warwick McGinty and Carl Nicholson. Well, for the Bloods, Kane